Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. 'Tis the season for overeating.
This is what you consume every year.
It doesn't bother some.
You say you got to have some junk in the trunk.
All day, every day.
For others, it can be tragic.
My life went from Barbie to unbearable.
But there's hope for the holidays.
The diet that could help you lose 10 to 15 pounds in 17 days. You like that?
I need that.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth?
Take.
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Well, one big holiday down and another big one to go. 'Tis the season to gain weight. You know that, right? Come on. I feel like sometimes I'm getting bigger just walking by food. Now, I'm sure you were full, but you still went ahead and ate some treats from this holiday cookie table, right? We left it out there this morning. But here's the deal. You never know when we're watching.
Hello, everyone. We have some holiday treats back here, so help yourselves.
Well, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Stand up. So you seem to have helped yourself to a big chunk of cake.
Yes, sir. It was good.
It was morning. It's just in the morning.
But I drove a long way. I got up early.
Do you control sweets or do they control you?
Well, if I can avoid the temptation of buying them, I can stay away. But when they're out
When
there,
they're right there.
I take them.
Come
Yeah,
on. I mean,
exactly.
This is like stink bait to a catfish, right?
Exactly.
Come on. All right, have a seat. Susan, we caught you on camera taking 4 pieces of pecan pie. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces.
It's true.
That is good stuff, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Yeah. But now you're on national television with 4 of them.
I'll admit to that.
Yeah, well, you have no choice now. All right, have a seat. Look, this show is all about numbers. Let me throw some at you. Bad news, you could gain 12 pounds during the holidays. 12 pounds. Good news, there's a 17-day diet that could help you lose 10 to 15 pounds in, you guessed it, 17 days. All right, this is the hottest new diet out there, and we're going to give you all the details today. But first, yeah, be happy about that. But first, guests Clint and Kim have a different number. That number is 50. That's how much weight they gain over the holidays. Take a look.
The holidays. Clint says no diets, no workouts. It's all about eating what he wants.
It's a fiesta, it's a party, and Dad's in the kitchen just cooking up a storm.
Every holiday, Clint says, bring out your fat clothes, and I say, we are wearing our fat clothes.
Last year I put on about 30 pounds.
It's gotten to the point to my stretchy pants, they don't stretch. They're too small. We're gonna have ham, cranberry, potatoes, sweet potato pie, the peach Betty, homemade bread, butter, sweet bread,
The roast pork, fried tip.
2 turkeys, a fried turkey and a regular turkey. Tons of cream, tons of sugar.
Peach cobbler, macaroni pie. Just talking about it, I'm getting hungry.
I sit in a sugar coma for months.
We start at my mom's house, and then we'll go to another house. Then we'll finish up at my house.
We're eating until basically you can't move anymore or you fall asleep on the couch.
I've eaten to the point where I feel like I'm gonna blow up.
They say people gain about 12 pounds over the holidays. Ha! At our house, try 20.
Okay. Now, why are you laughing so much?
Did you see him sitting by me on the couch?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know there was a couch or a love seat, because, I mean, you guys were cozied up there. I thought maybe y'all were going to share something.
I don't share the peach Betty, though.
Okay, but you
don't share peach Betty.
do want to lose weight. We're suspect about him. Because you don't care.
Nope.
You just could care less.
Come on.
All right, what would you say if I told you that you could be 17 days away from breaking the cycle? You'd like that?
I need that.
All right. Now, that's what we're talking about. Now, Clint and Kim say their problem with food is not just the holidays. They say it is year-round. Take a look.
I love my husband with all my heart. He is absolutely killing me with food. Food, food, and more food. Clint is from the island nation Trinidad, and everything is a celebration.
Every day in Trinidad is a party. Part of that party is cooking and food.
In Trinidad, they like thick women, and that would be me.
I love a thick woman because of the hips, the way they move. If they ain't got no junk in the trunk, I'm not having it.
To make matters worse, my husband has a catering business.
It's called Taste of Trinidad. Curry, chicken, stew, roti.
When Clint is cooking, it's all about coconut milk, plenty of sugar, loads of butter, heavy cream.
My friends call me 6'4", 3 donuts.
I've gained at least 100 pounds. I've gone from a size 8 to a size 20. I look in the mirror, I see that my neck's fat, my arms are just big, my thighs rub, my butt jiggles. You could probably sit a cup on my butt. Clint has bought me tons of weights and workout equipment.
All the equipment in the garage is collecting cobwebs.
A lot of it is across the street at our neighbor's house because we never used it.
Kim can lose a few pounds, but just not much.
He loves me the way I am.
You look good today.
I know, thank you. It makes me feel very loved, but at the same time, very frustrated. I just think that all of this food, it's taking a toll on our bodies.
Okay, now what were you just saying to me?
You guys are awesome.
Why?
Because you brought it all out. It just brings it all to...
It kind of puts it in sharp focus, right?
That the walking...
Yeah, yeah. Now, talk about bringing it all out. We're going to bring some things out right now. We did the math, and there's something that I'd like to show the two of you. According to what you told us, this is what you consume every year. The first ingredient here, this is 260 pounds of sugar. That's what you consume in a year. Bring out the next ingredient.
That'll be Kool-Aid.
You consume 288 cans of condensed milk every year.
Oh.
Mo milk.
That's good stuff.
He said that's good stuff.
Mo milk.
That's good stuff.
Mo milk.
It is.
Dr. Phil, that's good stuff.
You eat 24 large tubs of butter.
That's terrible.
We need some cake mix now with that.
That's what you put in every year. What do you think of that?
That's awful.
What?
That has to stop.
No, this is just getting started.
You need to stop
All right,
eating that.
we want to put a cherry on top. So bring out the last ingredients. This is, you have 2 large tubs of shortening every single year. Oh my God, hold that, hold that.
Healthy.
Oh.
2 large tubs of shortening. Now, we didn't even get to the meat,
Nope.
the bread, the seasoning, the spices,
That homemade bread.
the homemade bread.
It's awfully good, though.
That seems like a lot of stuff, doesn't it?
It is.
What do you think about that, Clint?
Love it.
You could cook something up with this, couldn't you?
Right now.
Yeah, you could cook something up right now, and I bet you we'd love it, too.
That's good.
All right, now we have a photo of Kim before and after her weight gain. Now, before, in 1985, at 125 pounds. There you are. You recognize yourself?
Yeah.
You felt like you were a hot tamale then,
I
right?
was.
Okay, and then after, in
And
2010,
then- oh, don't show him the weight. Don't show him that after weight.
it's already there.
Oh, my stuff.
It's too late.
258 pounds. Why do you not want him to see that?
No.
Why?
Because he can't see.
But he likes it.
That's what I said.
He
know.
keeps telling you he likes you to be thick.
And the hips.
Thick in the hips.
Thick in the hips.
I know.
So what's your thinking about that?
I mean, look at her, Dr. Phil.
She is a beautiful woman, but you say you got to have some junk in the trunk, or you're just not.
All day, every day.
That has to change now, though.
Okay, but why are you turning you're turning the trunk towards him when he said that.
Yeah,
so listen, I'll pay attention to what goes on up here. All right, we got to take a break. We come back. Kim tells us the real reason why she says she can't lose weight. We'll be right back.
I think Clint is sabotaging me.
She's turning heads now. Could you imagine if she dropped some pounds? My head's really gonna have to be on a radar.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. They may be living together,
Why do you put your feet on the counter? That's gross.
Why didn't you raise your kids properly? That's gross.
but that doesn't mean they have to like each other.
Gloria decided to listen in on my interview.
Hi, I heard my name.
You really want to hear what I said about you?
Everything about her is fake.
She's breaking us up as a group.
Why am I in this house with these women? Why?
She was crazier than the usual Gloria.
That's tomorrow.
Okay, now Clint and Kim are here because they are both struggling with their weight. Kim seems to be much more worried about this than Clint is, because he's kind of like, hey, you know, whatever. Kim says the main thing holding her back from losing weight is her man.
When I first met Clint, I looked great. I know I can say no to the food, but I wouldn't want to because my husband would probably have real issues.
She's turning heads now. Could you imagine if she dropped some pounds? My head's really gonna have to be on a radar.
I think Clint is sabotaging me.
I know if she drops the weight, it's gonna be crazy.
He says he loves the thickness, but I really think he doesn't want anyone else to look at me.
I'm a jealous guy, and there's a lot of guys out there that don't care, and they want what I have.
I would rather lose weight so I could be happy with myself. It's important to me. I need him to want what I want. I have to do it for me so that we can continue to have a strong, happy marriage and life.
Okay, now, here's the thing. Did you hear her say she really does want to lose weight?
Yeah.
And you want her to be happy, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, do you support her losing some weight?
Yes.
Some.
Some.
You don't want her to be a mere slip of a girl.
No.
But you are okay with her losing some weight.
Yeah, for health reasons.
Right. I mean, whatever your motivation is, you want to feel better about your appearance.
Absolutely, 100%.
You want to feel better in your skin.
And can I wear some shorts?
And you want to be able to wear shorts.
I want to wear some shorts. He wears shorts.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. We care. But
He looks better in all this, though.
Right. But do you think you need to lose weight at all?
No.
But, I mean,
Yes, he does.
but seriously, let's talk about the health aspect of this. You say that the natural order is for your children to bury their parents.
Right.
So your theory is you don't want to risk outliving them.
It's frustrating. I've lost the weight, and it just comes right back. So I'm just, hey.
Mysteriously.
Well, it doesn't just come back. It is invited back. Okay?
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That wasn't supposed to be on national television.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. See? But you don't care, see?
but you say you don't care.
That's not right.
That is actually right. That's actually the perfect one.
That actually is right,
That is
isn't it?
right there.
Okay,
not
now,
right.
are you, seriously, do you think that he gets jealous if you lose weight?
Yes.
Is that an issue?
Yes.
Because you think you think she's beautiful.
She's hot.
As she is now, obviously. And you think the more weight she loses, the more men are going to be attracted to her.
Vultures come around.
Yeah. Because he said if you lose weight, he's going to have to fight men.
Those guys out there,
He
they
doesn't
don't
have
care.
to fight.
Are you keeping her overweight so you feel safe?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Yes, he is?
Yes. Say it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because our staff says you were trying to feed her potato chips before the show. See, y'all never know when we're watching, I'm just telling you.
He feeds me all the time. I don't think my issue is that I eat too much. I probably could go a whole day and hardly eat at all. but he cooks and he serves me the food. We go to lunch every day.
Because you're from Trinidad, right?
Yes.
And you say Trinidad is just one big feast celebration.
It's a party.
You want to be healthier, right?
Yeah, you know, I'd like to get healthier.
Okay, you do want to be healthier, and you're not going to run off with some guy.
Oh, no. No.
So he doesn't
Are you
need
kidding?
to be. He doesn't need to be worried about that.
Right, come on. We've got 6 girls, you know that.
Right.
And they're almost done. We're on seniors.
And you ought to hear her brag about you.
She does?
I mean, she is so in love with you. I mean, seriously, the things she says about you.
Absolutely.
When we're interviewing her, she's saying this guy is unbelievable. She's bragging on you up one side and down the other.
Is that right?
See there, you needed to hear that, and you need to hear this. Dr. Mike Moreno is the author of a new book called The 17-Day Diet, and he says it's possible to lose 10 to 15 pounds in just 17 days. Dr. Mike, come on up. Good to see you again, man.
Thank you. Yeah, good to see you. How are you? How are you? I had to watch. I almost slipped a little bit on that.
Yeah, you don't want to slip on the
I saw that coming.
Ingredients down there.
Right.
All right, now, I want them to hear about this. I want everybody to hear about this because I love the cyclical nature of this 17-day diet because it defeats a lot of the problems for most diets.
Absolutely. I think the unique thing, there's so many things about this diet that I find fun.
Okay, why 17 days? Why is that such a magic number here?
Couple reasons. One, and the most important, is there is scientific evidence that has been researched. There's no plateaus, there's no boredom, and every 17 days you're changing what you're doing. We sort of call it metabolic or body confusion. And for people who think about weightlifters, when they go to the gym and they have to change what they do, change different strategies to confuse those muscles and to get them to perform the way you want, that's what this diet does.
Because your body will plateau. You've done this before, right? And you lose some weight, and then you get bored, and then your body plateaus.
You stop.
And then you rebel.
Right.
And you go back to it. But this 17 days, I'm guessing it doesn't involve a vat of sugar and fat and all of that, but it does involve plenty to eat.
It does, and that's the beauty of it. And, over the years and over the thousands of patients that I've seen, I've heard them all, I've seen them all, I've studied them all, I've looked at so many different things, some that seem like they would really work and they seem plausible, but the bottom line is I've never come across a diet that's sustainable. You just can't.
Well, let's talk about the holidays here. Dr. Mike says there is a way to avoid holiday weight gain, which is a real risk. And number one, you say pre-diet. What do you mean?
So pre-diet is essentially what it sounds like. The whole idea is that if you pre-diet, and the studies show this, that if you pre-diet, in other words, you go on this 17-day cycle and you lose the weight prior to getting to the holidays, it takes away that guilt, it takes away that whole issue with diet, and really is successfully helps you lose weight.
All right, well, let's talk about at holiday parties. You say that you want to eat a healthy dinner before you go, right?
Right, which seems a little bit sort of counterintuitive that you would go to a party. I mean, the obvious idea is going to a party to eat. The idea is this. You eat a healthy dinner, you sort of get rid of that hunger that you have, and you use these parties to still enjoy it. I mean, when I get together with my family, we still eat the same foods, and we still enjoy that. But the idea is still to be able to do that stuff.
But you always say don't go shopping while you're hungry. Right. Don't go to a party starving. I mean, you need to eat before you go so the cravings are gone. You say choose only 2 or 3 of the healthiest appetizers and don't hang around by the buffet table. You've got to get away from it, right?
Right.
And that's what you were saying, Chris. You say get away from. If we put it out there, you're toast. Yes, but if you stay away from it, you can't eat what isn't there, right?
Right.
So, and you say just say no to packaged holiday candies and cakes. What do you mean?
On average, each one of these pieces, you're talking 150 calories. You look at a box of candy, an average size box, you're looking at 10,000 calories from one box of candy. So, send her to a spa. Deuce, I'm sure the spa would be okay, right?
Wait a minute.
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. It's all girls.
It costs a lot of money to send them to the spa.
Yeah, but she's worth it.
I'm worth it.
She's worth it. All right, next we're going to show you before and afters of people who are 17 days into Dr. Mike's 17-day diet. This book is not available at bookstores. You can only buy it on the website 17daydiet.com. We'll be right back. Okay, Kim says that she really wants to lose weight, but that her husband, Clint, sabotaged her. Now, that's what you say.
That's
and in fact, there is evidence that you do sabotage her. Do you do it on purpose, or you just don't care about what she cares about?
I don't care about what she did.
You just don't care. It's not like you're trying to sabotage. You just don't have the same value. Okay, but here's the deal. You're a grown woman.
Uh-huh.
You're not a victim.
No.
You can put up the stop sign and say, hey, no, back off, get away, don't do that. Now, they say the holidays are one of the most difficult times of the year. Now, we're talking today about a new diet. And, you know, I'm very reluctant to use the word diet because this has to be a lifestyle change. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Dr. Mike has a 17-day diet, and he says it can help them take off the pounds and do it fast. Now, by the way, we've heard an awful lot about the fact that if you lose weight fast, it's going to come back fast. But the truth is, the current scientific evidence does not support that.
No, absolutely right. I mean, traditionally, we've always thought that when you take weight off immediately, quickly, which is what we all want, that you're not going to keep it off. And in fact, it's the opposite.
Okay. Now, and when we talk, you say you don't want to lose 17 pounds, you want to lose 50 pounds.
I want to lose 100
But there
pounds.
are 17-day cycles to this, right?
That's right.
And the first cycle is basically doing what?
So the first cycle we call the accelerate, and it's kind of as it sounds, accelerate, accelerated weight loss. And what it does is it's the cleansing cycle. Now, a lot of traditional diets, when you think of cleanse, it's like fasting and not eating or drinking a lot of supplements. We don't do that. We give you real food, healthy food, and plenty of meals, as you said
But
earlier.
you're not going to be hungry. Then you go into cycle 2. All right, cycle 2 is to activate. That's where you say you reset the metabolism.
Right, and I mentioned a little earlier that challenge that we give and that sort of confusion that we give to the body. The same thing that you would do in lifting weights, we do with this diet. You change your metabolism. We all want a reset button in life to like go back, that Monday morning quarterback thing. This is it.
Well, lots of people have already tried the 17-day diet and have seen great results. Karen lost 11 pounds in 17 days. Rebecca experienced a double-digit weight loss. Tom has had a double-digit weight loss as well, and you can tell from the photo it's extremely visible. Now, Dr. Mike says Kim and Clint's favorite foods can be easily substituted with healthier foods that are part of the 17-day diet. Bring out the food table. Let's take a look at this. All right, everybody stand. We're going to get up so we can see this. I want everybody to see this. All right, Dr. Mike, take us through this.
All right, well, perhaps I should have my dear friend here take us through it, because I think that a lot of this stuff is it looks good, but I think this probably looks very familiar.
What do we have on the right?
Egg salad.
You got it.
Egg salad. And you eat that every breakfast, right?
Every breakfast.
But this is loaded with mayonnaise, true?
Well, she don't know that I put mayonnaise on the sandwich, so she knows now.
She knows now?
Yeah, because I can't eat an egg salad without mayonnaise on the sandwich, and that's what she...
All right, so this is what you typically eat. What's this?
Macaroni pie, chicken, red beans and rice.
Macaroni pie? They make pie out of macaroni?
It's how you make it.
Okay, what is this?
Curry chicken.
Okay.
Peach Betty.
Peach Betty.
Peach Betty. Now, that Peach Betty looks good.
That is my favorite.
This is my favorite,
This is
right?
That's my favorite.
Okay.
my favorite.
This is, what do you call this?
Well, we call it, it's cereal, but the way we do it is we warm our cereal. We warm the milk, condensed milk, evaporated milk, 2% milk.
This is what you call the after-sex snack?
Absolutely is. And I make it for him.
1 o'clock in the morning,
Not him.
it's off the hook.
That's the best stuff.
Oh.
Okay, after sex, though.
After
and
sex.
you get up and go fix this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. A typical 17-day diet meal, we're going to talk about breakfast first. Let's take a look right here. All right.
Perfect.
So
Don't
what
let it scare
do we
you.
have right there? What do we have?
First of all, and I have to bring this up because it's so important. All of these people that we've had doing this, the feedback I hear from everybody is that it's so much easier than they thought. They're not hungry. And you mentioned that. That's a really important point. A lot of people think they're going to be hungry, and they're not.
Okay, you've got 2 eggs. You've got a fruit. You got a cup of green tea. here. So, I mean, that's
good.
and
That's
it only
reasonable.
has to last you like 3 hours.
That's good.
Okay, you could do that.
can do
Could
that.
you do that?
Nope.
No.
He will.
Okay, lunch. Look at this super
That looks a
salad
little
here.
bit more. There you
That
go.
looks
You
good.
can do that.
Don't you think that looks good? These are
Brussels sprouts.
these are Brussels sprouts. I didn't even know they still made Brussels
Me either.
sprouts.
You
I
should
love
put
those.
cheese on
Now,
it.
I bet you probably
Okay, you
cook
got
with a lot
lettuce,
of these ingredients,
cucumbers,
but-
onions,
this lunch?
carrots.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
a
you know,
lot of
one of the
food.
options, one of the
So we're
many,
going
many
from
options.
this for lunch to that for lunch.
That looks like a lot more food to me. And let me
This
tell
is
you, when
more
you're done
food.
eating, you
I know,
won't be
but-
sleeping on the couch. You'll be feeling great.
Okay.
And you know, we want to spend more time with
Really,
your beautiful wife.
you'll be energized. Okay, now let's look at dinner.
Well, that looks good.
That
Okay,
even just looks good. So, you know, we have turkey.
Asparagus.
And again, these are options. And the thing I want to remind everyone is there are so many options. These are just small samples of everything.
So is that two? We get 2 of those?
yes, one for you and one for her.
Yeah, we can bargain on that.
Yeah.
You can't make that asparagus and all that butter.
Right.
Okay. Now, what do we have on the end down here? Because
looks
this, now
good.
you got to say this looks
It
pretty
looks
good,
delicious.
right? All right, so this is just a snack that you could have. It looks like we've got
Fresh
berries,
fruit.
we've got yogurt.
Yogurt.
I mean, so we're good.
That's good.
Now, if you want to try the 17-day diet, you can log on to drphil.com right now and take a quiz that will tell you if you are ready to start, because readiness is everything. If you'd like to buy this book, go to 17daydiet.com. Remember, this book is not sold in bookstores. You can only buy it online. So once again, the website is 17daydiet.com. Now next, a woman who says her life went from Barbie to unbearable. Why she is dreading the holidays. We'll be right back.
By looking at me, nobody would ever think that I was a real-life Barbie doll. My life went from Barbie to unbearable. The holidays are brutal. Last year, they gained 30 pounds. The holidays are an excuse. Who eats healthy over the holidays?
Well, Becky weighed 130 pounds just 4 years ago. Now she says she weighs more than 200 and says that she is drowning in food.
I've gained so much weight, I don't even recognize who I am anymore. By looking at me, nobody would ever think that I was a real-life Barbie doll. Mattel, the makers of Barbie, hired me as a real-life, in-store Barbie doll. I got to pose for pictures and give autographs as Barbie. I felt great about myself.
She was so beautiful. She was so confident.
My life completely fell apart when I started to put on weight. My life went from Barbie to unbearable. Food became my friend. I just want to eat anything. Anything I can get my hands on. I have gone from 130 pounds to 225 pounds. From a size 4 to a size 20. I feel like I'm drowning in food. The holidays are brutal. We have cookies, cakes, chips and dip, cheeses, key lime pie, cheesecake, potato salad. I want to eat it all. Last year, I gained 30 pounds. The holidays are an excuse. You can eat whatever you want, right? Who eats healthy over the holidays?
Dr. Mike Moreno is the author of a new book called The 17-Day Diet, and this is what you've been hearing about. It's the buzz. Everywhere I go, I see it. I hear people talking about it. And I'll tell you why I think this has caught on so much, Dr. Mike. I think it's because people realize I don't have to do this all at one time. I can do 17 days. I got a plan, and it's not going to be monotonous, and that's a big deal.
Exactly. And again, you know, I keep stressing this rapid results that we see so quickly, which we all want to see.
And you've gained 75 plus pounds.
90 pounds.
90 pounds. You've gone from a 4 to a 20, and you don't feel good about yourself.
No, I'm so uncomfortable in my skin. I cannot believe that that's me.
Yeah. What do you see when you see yourself on the tape?
Well, the Barbie Becky, the skinny Becky, I almost don't even recognize that person. I feel like I didn't enjoy it when I had it. And it's a shame because I looked great. And now when I see the bigger ones, it's devastating There are no words to explain how I feel when I see that.
It hurts.
It hurts a lot. I don't know how I did this to myself. I don't know how I got here.
Now, Becky says once she starts eating, she just can't stop. Let's take a look.
When I feel bad, I eat, and it makes me feel better. My best friend is food. I get depressed and eat whatever's first. I sure can put down some popcorn, and I sure can eat some rice and some beans. I love peanut butter by the spoonfuls. Then I eat cake batter. If I'm gonna have a piece of toast, I'll have 5 pieces of toast. If I stand at the refrigerator and eat, I didn't technically have a real meal, so I technically didn't eat. I hate being in this body. I hate feeling like this. I feel like a complete failure.
Okay, you're not a failure. You're just caught in a bad cycle. How much weight did you gain last holiday season?
Almost 40 pounds.
40 pounds?
Yes.
And how did that happen? What happened?
It's interesting because when it's the holidays, the food is so good and it's out there. I mean, even though people know that I'm trying to lose weight, they'll bring over the cakes and the cookies, and like if there's an apple pie and we have a couple slices of it, I'll go back in the kitchen and think, that's not even. Let me just even that piece out and then eat that. But then that's not even on the other side, so let me even that piece out. And then my husband comes in and was like, I thought we had apple pie. I'm like, I don't know where it went.
Yeah.
Our 3-year-old must have got on the counter and eaten it.
Yeah, don't you hate it when that happens? All right, next, Becky says it's easier to hide from the world even if that means isolating her 3-year-old son.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. They're living together.
Everything about her is fake. She's breaking us up as a group.
But for how long?
Why am I in this house with these women? Why?
That's tomorrow.
I am completely powerless to food. Food is in complete control of me. To me, food is a person. It's a being. It talks to me. It makes decisions for me. It decides whether I'm going to have a good day or a bad day. I don't eat to live. I live to eat.
Well, that was Becky talking about how food controls her life, and it's also causing her to miss major milestones in her son's life. Take a look.
My weight has turned me into a hermit, a recluse. It's just me, the refrigerator, the couch, and TV. I just feel isolated all the time. And just stay inside and keep the blinds closed. I don't want them to see how much weight I've gained because they know me as Skinny Becky, as Barbie.
During the week, our son doesn't really get out of the house that often.
I'm just too embarrassed to take my son out to play.
What concerns me about that is that he's just not getting outside, being able to play and be a young little boy.
He doesn't deserve to have kids make fun of him because he has a fat mom. I miss all of these precious moments I have to hear about because I wasn't there. My greatest fear is for my son not to have the mother that he deserves. All he does is count on me. He just wants to love me and just be with me. And I feel like I'm so fat and so worthless. I want him to love me and be proud of me.
Right. You want that to stop, right?
Absolutely. I don't know what to do. I am devastated.
But let's talk about the plan that we're talking about. We're talking about 4 cycles of 17 days where you don't have to make a decision.
I'm excited. I love I had no idea. I'm thrilled.
So you don't have to make a decision. The decision is made for you. You eat the program. You eat what's there. Now, you have some choices you could make if you want to substitute, right, Dr. Mike?
Absolutely. The book is full of different options. I mean, we're all different. We all eat different things. We all have different tastes. I think the beauty of this is that there are so many options, and you're never going to get bored. And again, we just keep going back to it. You're constantly changing and challenging your body. That process makes you lose weight.
Okay, and in fact, you have sat down and made her first week plan, so she doesn't even have to think about one thing. She can just take that and do it. And you choose these foods in a way, and this is what the 17-day diet does. You choose these foods in a way that actually, in the beginning, accelerates and cleanses the body, so you get rapid weight loss.
Exactly, and the whole accelerated cycle is cleansing and just getting that rapid result that you want. The fat burning process begins immediately, and you see these results fast.
You eat when you're not even hungry, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, you talk about something called the hunger fullness meter. Talk about what that is.
Right, so the hunger fullness meter is it's really simple. You know, we use a 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to keep it very, very simple. So the 1 is primarily that time when you're reading or you're doing something, you say to yourself, and you've probably experienced this, I think I'm hungry. And you get up and you go to the kitchen, stop. Take a second and think to yourself, am I really hungry or am I just bored? Get a glass of water. If you want to have a healthy snack, you can do that. But the whole idea is that the likelihood of someone being hungry is not the case. It's likely that they're just bored. And the second part is that sort of ravishing where you starve yourself. You never want to get to that point.
All right, and of course 3 and 4 are you starting to feel full or you are stuffed to the point that you know you've eaten too much. And if you ever get to that level, you're in a real pickle, because if you're feeling full and you're still eating, then you've eaten way past what you need, because it takes 8 to 12 minutes for your brain to catch up with what you've been ingesting. So if you're full and you're still eating, everything you've eaten for the last 10, 15 minutes, you didn't even want.
Right.
So that's why you've got to be mindful of these. It's very simple, but you got to be mindful of it. Now, I have something that I'd like to show Becky next. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and would like to see the Dr. Phil show in person, call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. Or you can go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience. The tickets are free, and we have a great time here, right?
I haven't really told her how I feel about her weight gain because of what she went through as a child.
As a child, I struggled with my weight. My mom and dad, they wanted the perfect family, and I wasn't that perfect kid. I was called fat ass. They would lock the cabinets so I couldn't eat. If they were eating ice cream, my mom and dad would say, oh, here she comes. She smells the ice cream. Put it away. My dad would say, no, you're too fat to eat. I knew that I needed to do something to prove them wrong. I became Barbie, and I feel like now I'm back to that hurt little kid, that hurt little girl.
We have a life-size photo of Becky when she was Barbie, as she calls it. So bring that out, if you will. Okay? Now, this is a time in your life when you felt how?
Confident, happy. I could do anything. Anything, you name it. I was, you know, singing the national anthem all the time in front of 70,000 people. I could do anything. I could stand up here and entertain anybody. I don't even know who that girl is anymore because the light is gone out of my eyes. I don't look like that girl anymore.
Well, my point is that that is you. And you need to be nicer to her than your parents were to you. And you haven't done that. And there's something I want you to think about. If and when you get back to this, you're not going to be one bit better person when you look like this than when you look like this. Because it's not about the wrapper. You are a loving, committed, and devoted mother. And you are desperate to get control back in your life, true?
Absolutely.
I mean, women at home and in the audience, think about how much courage it takes when you feel as bad about your body image as you do to come on national television and put yourself out there. Now that takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of commitment. And that's why I want you to embrace Dr. Mike's program. I want you to embrace the 17-day diet where you don't negotiate with yourself. You do what's there for 17 days. And then you shift gears and do something different for 17 more. Then you shift gears and you do something for 17 more. Then you shift gears again and you do it for 17 more. And before you know it, you're going to look up and go, whoa, I do have some mastery over myself. I got food working for me instead of me working for food. And you've put the dots really close together here, right?
Absolutely. Anybody can do it. You've changed on the outside, but you can control this and get back to where you are. And we're going to make it so easy for you. I can promise you that.
Thank you so much. I'm completely committed, and I want to do this for me because I can't love my husband as well. I can't love my son as well. And I can't be as good of a person that I know I can be if I can't love me first.
You got to have the energy. And you will have more energy. You will have more energy. Yeah. But you will be the same person. And you need to start being your own best friend again. And accountability, you have no idea. Because our cameras are not going away.
That's why I'm here.
You can go clear to Trinidad and I will find you. We'll be right back. Listen, we all want to be healthy, so log on to drphil.com right now for even more information on today's show and learn how to stay in the best shape of your life. I want to thank all of my guests today and Dr. Mike Moreno, author of The 17-Day Diet. Thank you so much, Mike. I really, really appreciate it. And by the way, everybody in the audience is going home with their own copy of The 17-Day Diet. Yeah. You didn't clap like that for me. If you'd like to buy this book, go to the website, 17daydiet.com. Now, these guys have taken an interesting approach. This book is not available at bookstores. You can only buy it on the website. Now, I have an exciting announcement. Starting in January, we will be kicking off a new 17-day diet weight loss challenge. And if you'd like to be part of the 17-day weight loss challenge, then go to drphil.com and you can apply today because we're going to choose the participants from all of you that go to the website and sign up. It's time to do this right. Thanks for being here. So long. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So long. Bye-bye. See y'all.
Today on Dr. Phil. She brought home the bacon.
You said to him, he's never really been a provider.
That's a fact.
He brought home another woman.
He cheated on me behind my back.
Are you in love with your husband?
I think so.
Were you in love with him before you knew somebody else was in love with him?
No.
Affair aftermath.
My husband had another woman pregnant.
But you are the one.
She's one of the ones. Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free. Take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. Well, she calls him sauce, he calls her sexy. Now, this sounds like a couple in love, right? Well, not really. It's a man and his mistress. And his wife discovered their affair when she found his secret cell phone filled with hundreds of racy text messages and naked pictures. Take a look.
My husband of 15 years cheated on me behind my back. My husband has never had a decent job. I've always been the leader and provider financially in this home, and he had the nerve to go and cheat on me. About January of this year, I could see a big change in Jeff. He seemed different. and I knew in my heart it was a woman. I became obsessed with looking online at his phone bill every single day. There was a number that popped out to me. I called the number myself and hung up when I heard the woman answer. So now I had to get into more undercover work. I went to his car and found the phone. Saw a couple texts. They had nicknames for each other that sucked. Horrible. She called him Sauce, which makes me sick. He called her sexy. There was close to 500 pictures on the telephone. 90% of them were of her. A lot of naked pictures. There was a handful of Jeff, a couple that were naked. It's made me physically, emotionally ill, and I don't know what to do about it.
Well, April's husband, Jeff, says it's not his affair that ruined their relationship. Their marriage was rocky way before that.
This marriage has been a roller coaster the last several years.
I have been the provider almost from day one. There was a good 3 years that I made over $1.2 million. I have purchased a lot of expensive gifts, a $37,000 Harley, an $80,000 boat. I built a house on the Colorado River.
April has resented me because she does make more money.
He has just been spoiled for so long that he just expects it.
April has just done a lot of belittling, and that's what's really affected me the most. The things that April says do hurt. I'm fat, I'm balding, and no one's gonna want me. I'm a loser. I opened that coffee shop. My motto was to make it like the old Cheers, and I knew everybody's name, and I would talk to everybody.
I wanted pretty much nothing to do with the coffee shop. I hate coffee.
I did meet this woman at the coffee shop, and we would talk. She said she was having problems in her marriage, and I would say, yeah, me too. I felt good. I would tell her April was very rude last night, and she was telling me how fat I am or how I'm getting bald, and she would turn it around and say, well, you're not. You're very attractive. You're a good-looking guy. You're smart. And I liked that feeling. I thought, wow, this is amazing. There is somebody interested in me. For several years now, I've been told that I am nothing and I have nothing.
He started gaining some weight, which made me second-guess an affair.
Eventually, we ended up sleeping with each other. She would go get the hotel and already have it lined up, and I would go and meet her there. There was several times that we would meet up and have sex. I had an affair with this woman because I felt like my marriage was in a spiral. I felt like we were heading for divorce. I did not feel that April loved me.
You guys are here for a reason, and sometimes I think people at home maybe don't think about this, but you sat down and wrote a letter, and you decided to come here, and you have an objective when you came here. Is this a decision day?
I believe so.
So you're here to try to get some point of clarity and make a decision.
100%.
And this is very raw because this has just come to light very recently.
4 weeks tomorrow.
4 weeks tomorrow. So you're up against this now and you're saying, well, this is all spinning in front of me and I don't know what to do about it.
Yes.
And what do you want?
I want the same thing.
You want to know what to do?
I want to know what to do also.
All right. And this is hard for you. It's still emotionally very raw.
Yes.
All right. Are you in love with your husband?
I think so.
You think so, but you don't know so.
I love Jeff with all my heart.
Uh-huh.
This was just devastating.
Do you really love him with all your heart, or are you having a love reaction because somebody else is interested in him now?
No.
Were you this in love with him
disgusting.
before somebody else was interested in him?
We've been real resentful the last few years. But I do love the guy. I think...
Okay, now this is an important question. Were you in love with him before you knew somebody else was in love with him?
No. Not in the last year or two.
Pardon me?
Not in the last year or two.
Okay, because this is important. That doesn't mean that you don't want to save this marriage, but it is important because in the last year or two, you really weren't just all so in love with him.
No, actually, closer to 3. We've lost home. Lots of things have happened.
Yeah, and so he says that you have called him bald, stupid, fat, short, ugly, a loser, that you have hit and scratched him, that you have told him that he is not her man, that no one would ever want him, told him he doesn't make enough money, said he's never been successful. So very hostile, aggressive, emasculating, put-down sort of things to him. That's what he says you've done. Is that true?
I've said things very much so in anger. He's also said very hurtful and horrible things, too.
Well, I'll get to him in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see where you were. So these are things that you agree and acknowledge that you've said to him.
Yes.
And done to him.
Yes. Physical. I've been married. I've been with him for 20 years. Physical. If I'd been physical, I should have attacked him when I found the phone, and I didn't do that. I've kind of reached out a couple times, but that's knowing that my husband's compulsive lying to me.
And you said that you make all the money.
Which was true.
Right. And that he's never really been a provider.
That's a fact.
And as I'm reading through these, those to me sound like very emasculating sort of things that are very condescending and emasculating.
Sure.
Okay, and what effect did these things have on you?
Well, obviously, it changed the way I felt about her. And it hurt me inside. It would hurt. And that's probably why I did what I did.
No, it's not why you did what you did.
Well,
you did what you did because you made a choice to turn away from your partner outside the marriage and take up with somebody else instead of manning up and dealing with the issues inside your marriage. So, I mean, you got to own that decision. She didn't make you do what you did. You did what you did, correct. And you have to own that. So there are no victims here.
That's correct.
You made the choice, and you went and did it.
Yeah.
Now, next April...
in my defense, I would not have done what I did if we had that perfect marriage. I wouldn't have been out looking out.
There's no justification. You should have left.
Okay. Well, so you are saying it's her fault?
No, I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying if we had this perfect marriage, I don't think I would have done what I did.
Well, you're contradicting yourself. You're saying I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying if she hadn't done what she did, I wouldn't have done what I did.
I got you.
So you are saying that it's because of her. And look, I'm just telling you, if you don't own it, we're done. Because if you don't own it, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. We'll never heal this if you don't own your choices. And I don't know that we will anyway. But trust me, you had a lot of options given what she did.
That is correct.
A lot of options other than going off and having a clandestine relationship with somebody outside your marriage.
That's correct.
She didn't, you did, so don't put it off on her. All right, next, April found hundreds of racy texts and images on Jeff's cell phone, but it was one picture that sent her over the edge. You'll find out what when we come back.
I'm angry and hurt that he cheated on me, and I think how any woman could do that to another woman, and she's married too. I'm just blown away by it. She makes me sick. I want to wring her throat. The woman gave him a watch, which has been a struggle also. It's a trigger to me. I have told him, I don't want you ever to wear it. That's just a symbol of what you've done to this family. He must get rid of this watch.
Well, I guess April and Jeff lived the high life for years. April made millions. They drove expensive cars, took fancy vacations, lived in a mansion on a hill. But April's perfect world came crashing down a month ago when she found Jeff's secret cell phone.
April does check my phone all the time. She does go online and see who I'm calling. So this woman got me a phone so we could communicate back and forth without using my normal phone. So then the texting became more and more, and then there was sexual innuendos. And then we started sending some naked photos back and forth of each other.
The worst picture that affected me was the picture of her fully clothed, standing in my kitchen. This is where the photo was taken, which makes me disgusted and sick to my stomach. He let this scumbag come into my home. What hurts me the most was that she was in my house. I feel like I was raped by her.
What do you think you should do at this point? Are you convinced that this relationship is over?
I think without some serious changes, absolutely. When my industry crashed, when the mortgage industry went down, so I went from making $1 million a year to under $100,000. And meanwhile, I bought this coffee shop that we've lost about $800,000. We had it for 5 years, and he went there every day, made horrible income because we couldn't pay payroll, let alone him. I hated it, but he still had the happy life. He's a cheerleader, and this is where he also met this loser. It finally closed in July of this year. We also bought our home that we're in today in June. And it's crazy to me that he was having this affair as we were buying another home together, why didn't you leave first? I think I have a beautiful 13-year-old son. And I do love Jeff, but he has to be a provider. He has to be a provider at this point, whether I make $100,000 or $1 million. I don't want to be in the control seat. I've been that way the whole time, and it's so old to me. I don't want to do it anymore.
But you've defined it that way from the beginning.
From the beginning.
And you've taken the kind of a parent-child position with him from the beginning. And children grow up and rebel. I mean, that's the reason that I always tell married couples, parent-child relationships don't work.
I know.
I've traced your relationship back from the very beginning. I wrote it down. You have judged him from day one. You said, this is not the kind of guy I want. You said he was short, he was too young, he was dysfunctional.
That wasn't from day one, but when I met him, he lived in a tent trailer in his uncle's backyard working for a family-owned pawn shop and made low income but free rent type of thing. And I was a struggler. I was young. Became best friends. We eventually moved out together, and it was like, Jeff, you need to not work for the uncle's pawn shop anymore. It doesn't make sense because it's far. And so he did.
We made about the same amount.
We made about the same for a minute.
There was no.
I was probably in the 40,000 range, and you were still about 20.
It's not about the money. You said the first time you kissed him, you thought, oh, my God, I'm going to break his heart.
Yes, absolutely. He wasn't my type of guy that I typically went for. He was younger than me. I never, ever went for a younger person. A couple years younger. It's not crazy. But we established a friendship. I also never did that before. But he came from dysfunction. I came from dysfunction and suicide. He came from suicides. It was like, wow, you're normal. So I had this friendship thing that, wow, how are you normal? I want to be normal too.
Do you want to be in this relationship with her?
I do.
Now, you said that quickly, but do you really? Because we asked you a lot of questions leading up to this, and I heard a lot of, gee, I don't know. And you say here, sitting in front of her, you do, but that isn't what I heard you saying as we asked you a lot of questions. I heard a lot of, I don't know.
I do, but I feel that things need to change in order for that.
Why did you say I do when I ask you? Why did you give me half of a truth?
Because I think deep down inside I do. I do want it to work. Am I leery of that? Yes, I am kind of leery.
Then why aren't you saying, look, guys, this is your time. This is your moment. If you guys don't tell me the truth, we're wasting our time. And you're not being honest here. You're saying, oh, I don't blame her, but look what she made me do. I had to go through 4 times to get you to see I am blaming her. Come on, you own this. You made the choice, do it. I say, do you want this marriage? I do. Now, wait a minute. That's not what you said. What you said is, if she continues to browbeat me the way she has, time and again, and emasculate me and put me down and demean me, then hell no, I don't want to be in a relationship like that. That's the truth. Right. So you get here in front of her and you get clay-footed and say, oh, yes, I do. Good little boy, I'm in front of mommy. Yes, I do. That's not the truth.
That's true.
You are a very controlling woman. You are a very proud woman. You make a lot of money. You buy the cars. You buy the houses. You do this. I've always made more money. He says, we made the same amount of money. Well, maybe for a minute. Really? Are you, I mean, you're just pretty proud of the way you turned out, aren't you?
No, absolutely not. I'm just sick of doing it for as long as I have. Because right now the times aren't good. We're $50,000 in credit card debt. He has this Harley that he just has a sense of entitlement.
But this is not about Harleys. This is not about boats. This is not about cars.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't care about material things. I would get rid of any material things, but the material things that I've purchased for him, I'm not selling my Harley. At one point, he said, I would divorce you before I'd sell my Harley. Dude, we're $50,000 in credit card debt. You're making no money right now. You're in training. I'm making hardly anything, and I'm paying $1,000 in interest on these credit cards a month. Sell the Harley. When you make money, go buy yourself a Harley.
Let me tell you.
That's where the providing part that I need him to step up and provide for my child and not go sell more, April. That's what I've heard. Go sell more. Go sell your jewelry. Really?
All right. Y'all take a breath, and I'll take a break. Jeff had a mistress. He has a wife. And now there's another woman in the mix threatening to ruin his marriage. We'll meet her when we come back.
April has gotten physical several times with me. It's always been when she has been drinking. There's been times where I was actually sleeping and she came in the room and she was mad and she started punching me and scratched my face. When April drinks, she does get verbally abusive. She would lash out more. She says she feels sorry for me. She's gonna find somebody and I'll never find anybody. She would drink sometimes to where she would actually fall. There were several times she would just drink until I would have to put her to bed, passed out.
Well, Jeff says his wife's drinking and verbal abuse have gotten completely out of hand in recent years, but April says their marriage is on the rocks because of his affair. Not because of her drinking, not because of her abuse, not because of anything that she does. So what do you say about all that? You got a drinking problem?
I absolutely could have a drinking problem. In the last several months, I stopped during the week. You would absolutely say I have a drinking problem. Then I would just kind of do it on the weekends, but I escalate when I drink. I drink a lot, and it used to be social and fun. And the last several months, it became anger, verbal abusive. I think in the back of my mind, I knew that something wasn't right.
Well, why don't you quit doing that?
I have. Well, in the last 30 days since this has happened, I didn't run to drinking at all. I think the drinking's not a problem. I'm done with drinking.
But immediately, the attitude started and the disrespect started as soon as the drinking started taking effect.
Listen, you don't. Pouring alcohol on raw emotions is like pouring gas on a fire.
Sure.
You don't need to be anesthetizing your inhibition centers right now. You just don't need to do that. And look, it probably seems like I'm pushing both of you really hard right now. It's just I know where we're going, and I know what you need to do to make clear decisions here. And that's why I'm telling you, look, you've just got to be completely honest with yourself. I think, I'll just tell you what I think. You can decide that I'm wrong. You don't need to agree with me. Anything that I say that won't withstand challenge, throw it out. It's okay. I mean, I'm not the repository of all knowledge. I'm going to tell you what I think. I could be wrong. I'm not, but I could be on this. You think you married beneath you when you married him. I believe that to the core of my soul. I mean, everything you've said, he wasn't what I was looking for. He's not my type. I made more money all along. I bought him this coffee shop to make him feel like a man. How condescending is that, even if it's true? I mean, even if you believe that. I mean, these things but that is a marital problem. This infidelity, that is at a whole different level. You have a relationship marital problem that needs to be worked out. That's at this level. The infidelity is at this level.
I don't think I married beneath me. When the life is good and everything's handed to him, it's great for him, but then when things get rough and he doesn't step up, then it really frustrates me.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm married beneath me, though.
Yeah, I really don't think you're ready to get honest with yourself about this. You say he is bald, which is a little close to home for me, thank you. You're calling him bald, stupid, fat, short, ugly, loser, and you tell me that you don't condescend to your husband? Come on, seriously.
Yeah, but it's been out of anger, and deep down I feel like I don't really mean that.
You just say it because you want to make small talk?
Well, when he pisses me off, or he's said nice things.
Nobody would want you. You don't make enough money. You've never been successful. This is someone you respect. This is someone you admire. This is someone you look up to.
No,
this is someone that you aspire to be.
That's wrong.
And you tell me you don't think you married beneath you? Come on.
I didn't think that at the time,
But
Dr.
you're
Phil.
never going to be able to heal this situation if you don't come down off your high horse and recognize that people are just people. You take yourself a little too seriously if you decide that you're here and he's like the hired help. That's never going to work.
I agree.
Any man with a spine is not going to respond well to that. Any more than a woman is going to take that kind of stuff out. You're be barefoot and pregnant. You take care of me. You wait on me hand and foot. No woman with a spine is going to put up with that crap from a man. It's not just because you're saying it to a man. No woman's going to take it from a man either. You need to get that.
I get that.
Whether he's having an affair or he just resents you, he's not going to take that. And if that's how you feel about him, you either need to change that or get out of this relationship. And I don't expect you to feel good about being treated that way. But do you get that doesn't justify the choice you made?
It does.
You went out and did what you did. And that you could have dealt with this completely differently.
Correct.
And until she understands completely and fully that you get what you did to her when you did that, she will never get over this. Well, I said there's another woman that wants to blow this deal up. That's her mother. That's April's mother. You're going to hear what she has to say about this when we come back. Plus, April says she has 5 non-negotiables. We're going to find out what those are when we come back. Well, April's mother, Karen, is also here. She says she doesn't want Jeff and April to work things out. In fact, she wants April to kick him to the curb so badly that she is the one that wrote into the show. She said, look, I want these guys to end this thing. Karen, what do you think needs to happen here? And if I said anything that changes your mind about this?
For the last at least 5 years, I've watched a dysfunctional marriage, my daughter drinking too much, my son-in-law not doing anything that he should be doing to help pull the family together. In my opinion, this relationship is doomed.
Mm-hmm. You don't think it should be saved?
If it could be saved, maybe I'm a little pessimistic, but the damage that has been done, my daughter has not just found out her husband's been cheating on her for close to a year. She had the pictures of it. She had the messages back and forth. She has pictures of this woman in her house. And she tries to put it aside. I don't know if she can. Mm-hmm. And Jeff, I don't think, people don't change that drastically. Jeff has never been motivated to take over the finances. I love him to death as my son-in-law, and this kills me to even have to say about him, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think they're going to get the counseling and then Jeff's suddenly going to step up to the plate and be at least an equal to April. That's what she needs. She doesn't need him to take over. She needs him to be a partner.
So what are your non-negotiables?
I want, well, trust. I've told him if he lies to me, I don't care how little. And he knows nothing gets by me. It might take me a little while to figure it out, but I need honesty.
Well, you made a list. You said he has to provide financially. He has to make you feel wanted. He has to be affectionate like he used to be. He has to communicate with you, and he can never, ever lie again.
Yes.
Those are the 5.
Yes.
Let's say he did all of that. Where would you be?
I think that I would be totally in love with him again, because lately we've almost kind of like dating. He started becoming my best friend again.
So you're saying that you could forgive?
I think so, but it's going to take time. I want the help and the tools. And I need to know that, you know, I'm your partner. You talk to me about everything. You don't go somewhere else. Create more drama. Are you kidding? So stupid.
What do you think about those things?
I feel that they're doable. I feel that, do I want to be financial? Do I want to take care of the family? I do inside. I do.
Are these reasonable expectations?
I think they're reasonable, definitely.
Here's my bottom line on this, just so you know what I think, and then you can take that and do what you want to with it. I don't think every marriage can be saved. People ask me all the time, can a marriage survive infidelity? Yes, it can. It doesn't mean it should, but they can. But you have to own it.
Correct.
There's no theory under which it's okay. Doesn't matter if you found her in a convent. It doesn't matter if you just turned a corner and ran into her and gee golly darn, look what happened. Doesn't matter how, why, when, where, it doesn't matter. What matters is what happened. And that has to stop, and you have to never see her again, and you have to be a completely transparent, open book. You have to be a complete picture window. You have to be accountable, because trust has to be earned back. Now, once that's off the table, you have a relationship dynamic here that just isn't working. You have an attitude here, this is a parent-child relationship. That won't work.
No.
It just simply won't work. And aren't you tired of being the parent?
Totally.
Don't
Very
you want
much.
a partner instead of another kid?
100%.
And aren't you tired of being treated like a second-class citizen? I mean, that just doesn't work.
No.
So you need a true partnership here. And to do that, you have to expect it, you have to provide it, you have to really engage each other in that level. And this stuff about being abusive with each other and condescending to each other, calling names, those are just not things that can go on. Require more of yourself.
I agree.
And you're going to need a guide through this, and I will help you with that. I will help you with skilled counseling to help you navigate this rocky terrain at this point. And I can tell you, you will know in a very short period of time whether or not you have the foundation upon which to build this marriage. And you need to make a plan that puts this family unit first. And if it means selling everything to get out of debt, then sell everything to get out of debt. There's nothing sacred here. You do what you have to make the family first, to provide security for your child and for your family unit. And to do that, you roll your sleeves up and you work together as partners, not antagonistically. You work together as partners.
I agree.
And that begins with forgiveness and commitment, and you work through it. And that's my advice to you. Give this 60 days. I promise you, you will know at the end of that time whether this is a go or whether it's not. Will you do that?
Absolutely.
Will you do that?
Definitely.
And I will get you the professional to do that with.
That's why I'm here.
And I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
All right, just recently, my next guest got married and had a baby. Too bad his wife wasn't the one that had the baby. Hear all about that when we come back.
When we were saying our vows, I thought, I can't believe this is happening. I'm the luckiest girl in the world, but then all my dreams were shattered.
Well, my next couple are newlyweds. There's also a beautiful bouncing baby. Too bad it's not the bride's. Take a look.
When I married Juwan, I thought I was marrying the love of my life. When we were saying our vows, I thought, I can't believe this is happening. I'm the luckiest girl in the world, but then all my dreams were shattered. My husband told me that he had sex with his ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, well, when? He's like, oh, somewhere at the end of May. Instantly, I felt nauseated and sick, and it was like my head was spinning. I was like, we were engaged in May. I think Juwan knew if he told me that he cheated on me with her before we got married. He knew I wouldn't have married him. I was tricked. I said, did you use protection? And, he said yes. And I said, are you just saying it or are you lying? He said, no, I'm lying. I didn't. I said, well, is she pregnant? He said, I don't know. So I looked through his phone and saw these conversations of his ex-girlfriend asking him, did you tell her you're gonna leave her? I don't need drama around the baby. And I was just like, what? I said to Juwan, somebody's lying. You need to tell me what's going on. And he looked to the floor and he said, yeah, she's pregnant. I was devastated. It was absolutely heart-wrenching to hear that my husband had another woman pregnant. It was mortifying. It was like I couldn't breathe. Dr. Phil, if you tell me to run like hell, I'm running like hell.
Well, we'll see about that in a minute here. Do you think you should run?
Some days, yeah.
Why?
Definitely.
What tells you run?
When Juwan continues to lie and hide things, it just makes me feel like he'll never be 100% truthful with me.
If a guy wants to kind of be a player and mess around and stuff, which I think is fine, why get married?
Well, I wanted to wait, but as time was going on, she was asking me or saying like, why don't you want to marry me? And it was like she wasn't good enough for me to marry. And it was kind of like pressure, so to speak. I mean, the family was kind of, talking about marriage, and
so she just pressured you into it.
So
that's a cop-out.
Wait a minute. I decided to marry her.
But
I just
under
wanted
pressure.
It was a little bit. It's a little bit of pressure.
If she had not brought it up and pressured you, would you be married today?
Today, no, probably we wouldn't be married today. definitely wouldn't be married today.
He is absolutely right. I wouldn't do that to myself, to live in that type of...
But he's saying if you hadn't pressured him to marry you, he wouldn't be married to you today.
I can't pressure someone to do something that they don't want to do. That is an excuse, and I'm not buying it. No.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay, when y'all met, were you involved in relationships with someone else?
Yes.
What was your status?
I was engaged.
And what was your status?
I was married.
So you were engaged and you were married.
Right.
And so y'all were cheating with each other.
My engagement ended. So technically, Juwan was cheating. I was not.
He's cheating with you.
Right.
So you were seeing a married man.
Correct.
So why would you be surprised when he cheated on you?
I always...
That's a fair question, right?
It is.
Because if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you, right?
Exactly. I always felt like I was enough for Juwan. I always felt like that I brought to the table everything that he needed and that he didn't need anyone else. Maybe it was naive of me, but
well, that's a little
that's what
egotistical, isn't it, though? I mean, you find a cheater and you think, I'm the one. I'm the one that'll tame the guy. I mean, I know he runs with the girls, but I'm the one that he'll stop all that with me.
Right. And that's exactly what I thought. Thought I was the one.
But you are the one. She's the one.
She's one of the ones. Okay, next. An affair and a baby seems like more than any newlywed woman could endure. Well, it's not. There's something else threatening to end this marriage. We're going to find out what it is when we come back.
Part of my reasoning for cheating was because I was angry with her. Very upset she was holding out sexually. I took her holding out sexually on me personally. During that time when I was in that mindset, I went and cheated with my ex-girlfriend. I can't justify having an affair. I messed up, unfortunately.
Things have definitely gotten physical between Juwan and I. We were talking, and Juwan felt like I said something that was disrespectful to him, and he smacked me across the room and I hit the wall. It was such a shock to me. Last time was Thanksgiving, and he felt like I said something disrespectful. We had gotten into it, and he choked me, and I honestly thought he was gonna kill me.
Well, Sharnae and Juwan have been married just over a year. Just weeks into that marriage, Sharnae found out Juwan had slept with an ex and fathered a child. Now, recently, things have escalated, according to Sharnae, into physical violence, and they want to know if they should stay with this relationship or shut it down. Have you gotten upset with her and hit her?
Yes, I have.
And did you get upset with her and choke her?
Yes, I have.
And you did have a baby with an ex.
Yes, I did.
Which was cheating on her. So do you have a question for me? Just a straight out question?
My question is, should I run like hell?
Yes.
Run like hell?
Yes. Do you have a question for me?
Is there anything that I save our marriage?
You are a high-risk candidate at this point. He's very high risk, and I'm going to tell you why. You asked me straight up, I answered you one word, yes. He's very high risk. He's cheated on you before you were even down the aisle, right? I see absolutely nothing that suggests any change in what he's likely to do. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. If you want to know what he's going to do in the future, look at what he's done in the past. Barring some major intervening event, he's very likely to continue his pattern of the past, which means he's cheated with you, he's cheated with the wife that he cheated on you with, he's cheated with you, he's cheated everybody. He doesn't finish one before he goes to the next, so he's probably very likely going to continue that in the future. He's been violent with you. He's hit you and choked you to the point that you thought he was going to kill you. That's dangerous. So, yes, I think you're in a very high-risk relationship. If I also sense that the chance of you taking my advice and shutting this down when you leave here is probably zero. You're not going to do what I'm saying to do.
That's not true.
So
this is it. This was it right here. This was it.
Yeah.
I'm physically, emotionally tired. I mean, I'm there. So this is it.
In the alternative, I think he would have to be willing to submit himself to some serious professional help. I mean, what you're doing is a very immature level of relationship management. The mature thing to do is finish one relationship before you start another, and really finish it.
Right.
And put up some barriers and put up some boundaries, and then you've obviously got an issue with your temper. There is no time, no theory, no provocation that justifies a man putting his hands on a woman in anger.
Never.
That is just simply not okay. You don't hit her, you don't choke her, you don't push her. That is absolutely, unequivocally unacceptable under any theory. And if you can't control that, then you've got a problem that needs help. You don't do that. And you need to stop that or you'll wind up in jail. And so you need to learn better ways of handling your anger and communicating your things. So you would have a lot of work to do to not continue to be a high-risk candidate. So he would have to be willing to do that. And barring that, then you're simply in a very high-risk relationship. So you said, is there anything I can do? That is what you could do.
Right.
Fair enough?
That's fair enough.
Okay. Coming up, when to forgive and when to move on after an affair. My advice to all couples when we come back. If you're in a relationship and there has been infidelity, there has been an affair, I always get asked, how do we know whether we move on or whether we try to resolve this? Look, you've got to sit down and negotiate this. Everything in a relationship is negotiated. You've got to ask yourself, do I have it within me to forgive my partner for making a really bad choice? Now, part of that is going to be a function of what you get from the other side. They have to be willing to completely end a relationship. That means no more contact whatsoever. They've got to be willing to be a complete open book. They ran it off in the ditch. They got to do whatever it takes to get it back up on the road and in a healthy way. And you've got to say, look, I don't want this to be a life sentence for them or for me. If you can never let it go, then that's going to be a problem for you and for them. So ask yourself, if I can't forgive this, if I can't start over, then it's not good for either one of you. So you've got to sit down, you've got to talk about it. And if you need help, get help. Go to your pastor, go to a counselor, do what you have to get somebody to come in and counsel you and calm things down. Don't quit while the emotions are raw. Don't quit while it's really hurting inside. Work through it. Give your feelings a voice. You're talking about a relationship that's meant a lot to you. It's worth the work. And then when you get through with that work, you just can't get past it, okay. But know that you've done the work. And if there are kids involved, you owe it to them to do the hard work. So just think about that. I want to thank all of my guests that were here today. If you find yourself in the middle of an affair and you want information on how to save your marriage, go to drphil.com. There'll be resources there and a lot more than what we've talked about today. I'll see you on Twitter. I'll see you on Facebook. I'm always there. I look at your comments, so I do like to hear from you. Thanks for being here. So long.
All new today. Husbands Ask Dr. Phil.
Oh, hell yes.
Should he have to quit his stuntman job for his wife?
You're having a good time, right?
Absolutely. It's my dream job.
Time for him to grow up. You saw. There's light myself on fire, try new flips, stunts, crazy stuff. Dr. Phil, come on, help me out.
I'm going to call him as I see him.
Plus, she stopped being a wild woman. So what should he do?
This kind of bait and switch, you met him during the bimbo phase, so he goes, okay, I'm signing up for this.
And should he get in trouble for checking out the opposite sex?
I'm not lusting, I'm looking, I'm just enjoying.
You're wrong. You should never look at other women. I don't want to look. Do you think she bought it? Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go.
Stand by, camera, set. If you're going to talk to me, you're going to have to be honest.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Showtime.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Stand by, A, and roll A. Check in. Go, Dr. Phil. Okay, now, I get tons of letters from wives asking me how to fix their man. Okay? I don't get that. But today, I'm talking to some men who want me to set their women straight, okay? So the guys get a turn. It's Ask Dr. Phil Day, and these men want to know how to win back their wives' trust after an indiscretion, how to get their spouse to understand that, well, boys will be boys, and they even want my opinion on whether or not looking but not touching is okay. Now, my first guest, Shane, says that ever since he was 8 years old, he wanted to be a stuntman and can't believe that he's now getting paid to do what he loves. So what's the problem? Well, for starters, his wife Marlo wants him to quit. She says that his job is way too dangerous and that Shane has no business playing Evel Knievel, especially because he's a husband and a father. Take a look.
I've been wanting to be a stuntman since I was about 8 years old. I do a variety of stunts, walking on stilts, unicycles, backflips, high falls off the house, fight scenes, lighting myself on fire. I am very extreme. Marlo is very conservative, so it does create a challenge for us. I have a full-time job, but I moonlight as a water ski stunt performer. I have so much fun doing this show. It's the only job I've had that I don't need to set the alarm clock to wake me up.
I don't want to squelch dreams. I don't want to be a dream crusher, but over time, my worry has increased more and more for the safety of my husband.
I've had a few injuries. I've been knocked unconscious. I broke my ankle, dislocated shoulder, broken ribs, broke my tailbone, lots of cuts and bruises.
Most of his injuries have to be fixed by a doctor, but nothing that he has been critically hospitalized for yet. That must be his goal.
Got it crazy? Yeah.
I am 35. Most of the performers I ski with are a good 10 years younger than I am. I know there's going to come a time when my body can't do it anymore. But until that time, I plan to pursue stunt work in some form.
My kids do want to be like their dad. They see their dad do cool things and they think it's cool. It does make me nervous when I see them climbing over fences. They always want to make it a stunt.
I don't think the work that I'm performing as a stunt performer is any different than a professional football, hockey player. There's always risk involved in those professions. Hey, you want to watch them?
Yeah. There's Daddy.
Here we go, off the top.
Oh.
You see that? That's how I dislocated my shoulder.
Yes, I know. Every time he leaves, I say to him, be careful, because I always wonder what kind of condition he'll come home in.
Dr. Phil, does that look too dangerous to you?
Oh, hell yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you're having a good time, right?
Absolutely. It's my dream job.
What all are you doing? You're ski jumping and
Yeah,
what
the
else?
profession right now is performing at theme park, which involves all the tricks that you've ever imagined seeing on water.
And your objection to this is what? I mean, what? I mean, I get it. He's dislocated his shoulder.
Right.
He's broken ribs. But what's the?
I love my husband. He's a great husband. He's a great father, but I think it's time for him to grow up. Every time he goes out there, this is not his full-time job. This is something he does for fun. So every time he goes out there, if he tries new stunts all the time, if he gets hurt, it's costing our livelihood. We depend on him to support our family. And there is great risk that is involved because he's not a professional football player. And, you know, he goes out on Saturdays when it's during the season, and that's our family time. So that's my gripes about it. It's dangerous. I don't think I'm overprotective. It's just, it's time for him to grow up.
So what do you say about it?
So this is a rare opportunity for me that I didn't think was going to come. And it's hard for me to let go. This is my God-given gift that I feel has defined me. And to say that I'm done with that is very difficult for me to let go.
Yeah.
There's calculated risks, and then there's, you saw crazy light myself on fire, try new flip stunt, crazy stuff going on. There's a difference, don't you think? Dr. Phil, come on. Help me out.
So what's with you're on stilts and what's that?
Being a young child, I didn't have these resources to do what I want to do, so I just picked up whatever talent I could. When I saw a circus or something and saw something that they did that I thought was interesting, then I wanted to pick it up and would work at it till I could do it.
Why are you walking around on stilts?
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's fun. I mean, okay, I don't do it much now.
And that's good. And if that's your answer, that's your answer. And I assume that pays really well.
Now, the water skiing is what pays. The stilts and stuff, that's just stuff
but
that
it
I
doesn't
carry
pay
through.
very much.
Okay, when he says he's a paid performer to do this, it about covers his expenses and maybe his hospital bills.
Well, can I see that picture again?
It doesn't pay.
Okay, now there are a lot of different kinds of currency in life. This may not be all about the money.
Obviously.
I'm focused somewhere totally different.
I'm just stating the obvious.
My concern is not falling in those positions. It's
Right.
not. It's nowhere.
Don't say positions. Okay. Let me tell you, I've been an athlete all my life. I played sports. I played football in grade school, junior high, high school, college, all of that. You got to really think about those injuries that, you know, when you're 35, you take a bullet in the shoulder, you just kind of shake it off, you're okay the next morning. When you're in your 50s, you get a hangnail, you're out for a week, you know? I mean, it just goes on. Really, we just don't heal as fast as we do otherwise. So
because we stopped doing our activities.
No, I don't stop doing it. I'm still out there every day. I'm just telling you, it does come. You pay for that later, and you need to think about that. And I have to say, risk-reward ratio-wise, when I had children, I used to race motorcycles. And when I had kids, all of a sudden I thought, you know, if I get a brain injury, that's really going to be a bad thing. So frankly, I don't ride motorcycles anymore. So I'm telling you, you got to look at the risk-reward ratio. You got to realize that you do have people besides yourself that are depending on you. And so you've got to balance all of that out. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Don't say anything. Okay. Having said that, you don't want to take this away from him.
Absolutely not.
You do not want to take this away from him. I'm going to tell you why. Because what he's doing has risk to it, but the risk is reasonable. He's not likely to get killed doing what he's doing. He's not likely to get paralyzed doing what he's doing. He's not likely. When he falls, he hits the water. Okay? And I know he's going fast and he's going over jumps and he does other stupid stuff at home.
Right.
And I get that, but I mean, that's just who he is. And you think that there could be an injury that comes from that. If you're the one that takes that away from him, where he has to kind of sit there like, no, I can't come out and play. That's the real injury here. You don't want that. The fact is you're more conservative than he is.
Definitely.
And it seems to me that, number one, he's really good at what he does. And it's part of who he is. Have some balance about it. You don't want to take every holiday away from your family. But I do come down on your side here. I think what he's doing is reasonable. You don't want to take this away from him. Sorry. I come down on hubby's side here.
But I do see her point, and she has never said,
yeah, keep it balanced.
This is over.
Right, and keep it balanced. You don't want to take all those holidays away.
Right.
Okay. All right, coming up. I'm going to get out of here before I get hurt. My next husband doesn't have women riding on his shoulders, but he says there's nothing wrong with checking out a beautiful woman from afar. His wife said he just better learn to check himself soon, or they could be headed for divorce. We're right back.
My husband looks at other women, and it drives me crazy.
It's natural for guys to look once or sometimes twice, I guess.
It's a double take, it's a triple take.
I'm a guy, that's... but I'm not a bad guy.
Well, it's husbands that are asking Dr. Phil questions today, so wives, all I can tell you is I'm going to call them as I see them. Your men are asking me questions about you. Now, Jeremy says that he might be married, but he ain't dead, and if an attractive woman walks by, it's just human nature to check her out. Now, he says his wife Kelly sees this as a major problem and says Jeremy should only find her attractive. She goes so far as to only allow him to watch G-rated movies and even thinks that The Little Mermaid is too foxy. Take a look.
My husband looks at other women, and it drives me crazy.
It's fun to have people check you out, and it's fun to check people out. And so maybe I'm making people feel good while I'm checking them out. I'm just making the world happy. It's natural for guys to look once or sometimes twice, I guess.
It's a double take, it's a triple take.
If my wife catches me checking out other women, I'll have to play dumb because I don't want to have a confrontation.
He says he doesn't break his neck, but it's because they're always in front of him.
I'm a guy, that's... But I'm not a bad guy.
Once we go anywhere in public, I scan the entire room to see if there's going to be anybody attractive, and then I watch him, and he'll try to be sly about it. He'll look down, and then he'll look back up, and then he'll look down, and then...
I've tried toning it down quite a bit.
He doesn't think it's obvious, but it's really obvious.
When we met, she was dressing like Britney Spears.
My hair was bright blonde. I was the bimbo of the party, really loud, flirtatious.
She was fishing me, and then now that she caught me, she changed. She would wear bikinis and stuff.
Low-cut shirts, short skirts.
And now she wants to wear my board shorts over her shorts. I still love her, but she's a different person. She thinks Ariel in The Little Mermaid dresses like a skank. She's half naked.
He says that it's human nature to look. So I tell him that it's human nature to train yourself out of bad habits.
Dr. Phil, is it human nature for me to look at other women, or am I wrong?
You're wrong. You should never look at other women. I don't want to look. Do you think she bought it?
No.
Look, this really bothers you.
No, it's not the looking. It's the lusting over another woman. It's when he's not checking out a woman for her beauty, it's for her body. Like, wow, she's got really nice boobs, she's got a really nice butt, and it drives me crazy. This makes me feel weird.
I'm lusting over the TV.
Yes.
She thinks. Fear Factor,
I just
anything, I cannot...
Well, Fear Factor, it's a bunch of girls in bikinis climbing up poles trying to get a flag,
well,
you know?
Well, what do you mean looking versus lusting? I mean, what do you do that's lusting?
She is putting that in my head. I'm not lusting, I'm looking. She thinks she's a guy, so she knows just because I'm looking, I'm lusting. I'm just enjoying. I'm not lusting. No, it's something fun to look at.
Like, is he walking behind them and panting and stuff? I mean, no. Really? I mean, is he like, you know, hey, baby, come here?
Oh, God, no.
He's doing like that. You'd totally freak if you did that.
Yeah, I really would. Yeah, I would.
You admit, I watch his every move.
Mm-hmm.
I get so jealous. I don't trust Jeremy around pretty girls.
I don't. He
Or
does.
around my ugly friends.
He does.
Nobody.
We won't name the
does.
friends he considers ugly.
All of them.
No, he does get flirtatious. If he's talking to a girl on the phone, he changes his tone of voice. It's higher pitched.
I change it with my mother. I change it with everybody. If I talk to a gay guy, I change my voice. It just...
No, he doesn't.
My supervisor,
No, he doesn't.
yes, I do.
His voice stays
People's
manly
voices
when he's talking
change.
to a gay man.
They change. If I talk to a 2-year-old, it changes. People's voices naturally change.
So you fight about this 2 or 3 times a week?
That's when it's in our face. But when it's... No, when it's good.
We do fight about it a lot.
We do fight about it.
You've moved out 4 times?
And no, well, it's just for a day.
To get away, vacation from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're afraid that he's going to cheat on you.
I am very afraid of that, yes.
Why did you change your look? He said once you got married, you became very conservative and...
I've always been a conservative person. It was just a phase of my life. For 2 years, I dressed that way. And then I went through this phase where I wanted to know what it was like to be one of those girls that are always having fun at the parties.
But isn't this kind of bait and switch? You met him during the bimbo phase.
I know.
And then so he goes, okay, I'm signing up for this. And then you got married and say, oh, you just caught me in a phase. I'm now going back to the other, which I don't see what you got to complain about now. You're obviously very attractive.
I'm not complaining about the way she dresses, just the way that she acts. She's beautiful. She just...
He doesn't...
Well, let me ask the audience. Let me ask the women first. If you think the man in your life notices a good-looking woman when she goes by, stand up. Okay, that's good. Just curious. Okay, now, what do you think of that? Did Robin stand up? Did you stand up? Okay, I was just curious.
Yes, I did.
I thought I was getting away with it.
So do I, but I don't.
Hey, what do you think about the fact that this, I think every woman in the studio audience stood up?
Yeah, I think they did.
All right, now, if you have had 4 or 5 fights a week over this and left your husband 4 times because he looks at the women stand up, what do you think of that?
I don't know why you don't.
Yeah. Is it possible that you're too extreme about this?
I do think that I am a little too extreme. And I would like to mellow it out. I've tried. I've read your books. I've read Robin's book, and
None of them talk about this.
I know, and I go to my therapist.
I'm not an idiot. Here's the deal. Let me just get to the bottom line here. This is about you. It's not about him. It's about you being insecure and underestimating your presence as a woman, your presence as a partner, your presence as a mate, and underestimating his character in terms of what kind of commitment he's made to you in this relationship. And jealousy is an ugly, ugly thing.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst feeling in the entire world.
It really is. It's a terrible thing because you live constantly in fear. And you get into a seriously bad pattern of testing him so he can prove once again that he is faithful and dedicated to you. So you constantly push him and push him and push him so he can pass the test and give you a reassurance fix. And you need to stop doing that. And you need to get help with this insecurity or it's going to cripple your relationship. And I'm happy to help you with that. But you need to get past this.
Yes, I am trying.
Yeah, so it's husbands 2, wives 0 so far. I don't know. All right. Now, we'll see if the trend continues. Coming up, you'll meet a husband who says his wife is so paranoid that she's taken her children to the hospital 50 times for a runny nose.
When we come home, my family knows the routine. Shoes off before they hit the carpet. Wash their hands. Did you use soap? Take off their clothes. Take a shower. Come on, girls.
And I get crazy.
Well, it's Ask Dr. Phil Day today, and I'm answering questions that husbands have about how they think marriage should work. Now, Todd says that his wife, Kim, is so paranoid about their children getting sick or hurt that with the first sign of a sniffle, she's carrying them off to the ER. She follows her family around with wet wipes so they don't get germy, and even admits to wiping down strangers' kids if they come too close. Now, Todd says Kim is fully aware that she's driving her family nuts, but she says she just can't help it.
Don't touch me. You germy.
My wife is so paranoid, she's off the charts.
Take your shoes off.
Give me a break, all right?
I'm afraid of germs. Wash your hands, take your shoes off. It's shower time.
We know.
When we come home, my family knows the routine. Shoes off before they hit the carpet. They wash their hands. Did you use soap? Take off their clothes, take a shower.
She says, do this, do that, blah, 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 blah.
Come on, girls.
And I get crazy.
If the kids sniffle, she thinks that they need to go see the doctor immediately. If they have a fever, we got to go to the emergency room.
It drives me nuts.
I wash my hands 40 times a day. My cuticles get so dry that they bleed.
She will actually boil our toothbrushes.
I'm boiling the germs off. I microwave sponges to kill off the germs. Am I the only one that does this?
My wife is a wifey queen.
I wipe down the stairs, the banisters, the windows, my purse, the window sills, the dressers, the bathroom counters, my children, their feet, their shoes, their backpacks, the floors.
She'll wipe the dog when he comes in from the backyard. When my wife feels like she has some sort of panic coming on, she will jog in the backyard. She will do jumping jacks. I will find her up on top of the swing set, just kind of sitting there.
When I think the food in the fridge is too old, I will throw it out.
I'll go out and spend $50, $60 on cold cuts. I'll make myself a sandwich one day. The next day, where's the salami? They're gone.
I bought a pound of salami.
It was old.
It was fresh.
It's comical to a point, but it's frustrating because it's expensive. Dr. Phil, I love my wife dearly, but what can we do to help her chill out?
Knock it off!
Okay. All right. Fair representation?
Yes.
Okay,
Very
and this
fair.
is driving you nuts.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
What is your theory about what's going on here? I mean, you're wiping other people's children down.
Well, they were touching my child. The mom caught me, and
Another
yeah.
child touched your child?
Yeah, they were touching each other, and she looked like she might have had a cold, and so I just wiped her real quick, and the mom looked at me, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, my daughter touched your daughter, and I wanted to get the germs off." And she just kind of went on her way.
Did you ever see that child or mother again?
Yeah. Luckily, they were
Come on,
strangers.
Billy,
Yeah.
let's go. It's the crazy germ lady. You throw away clothes that are too germy?
Well, when they go on field trips, I make sure Todd has to go with them. And when they get home, I just throw them away because they've been in like fields and stuff, and who knows what so I throw it all out.
They've been in fields and stuff.
Well, yeah,
because they went
went
on a field trip.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this, Kim, but field trips don't really go to fields. They go to like museums and stuff like that. But if they've been out in the world, they're too germy.
Yeah, well, because the kids are always touching each other, and there's so many people that are sick, and I feel like if I don't want to bring that into the house, then I can be comfortable in the house. If I get rid of it when they come in, then I know I'm okay.
Well, I'm the first to say children are walking petri dishes. I get that they are kind of germ infested, but are you going too far?
Well, yeah. I mean, even my kids are 4 and 8, and they're frustrated with me.
Okay, I want to get your take on this in just a second. So coming up, it has been months since they've even been out on a date. Todd says that they've just they're losing that loving feeling, because they're just not doing a lot of loving. They're doing a lot of wiping down. And she can't stand to leave the kids alone, even for one night. So is this irrational, or is she just a real clean Kim? We'll be right back.
My wife and I very rarely go on dates.
I don't feel like I can get away and be happy if I don't know what the girls are doing.
Before we even get down the driveway, she's on the phone with the babysitter to tell her something else. My wife does not like dirty clothes. We were at a zoo and the girls got a little bit dirty,
Come on, girls, clothes off right now.
and those clothes got thrown out at the zoo. So the girls rode home in their undergarments.
It's Ask Dr. Phil Day, and I'm throwing all the husbands out there a bone and letting them ask me whatever they want about their wives. Now, Todd says that his wife's motherly love for their kids has been taken to the extreme and it's driving he and the kids crazy. He says more than anything, he wishes Kim could just let go, relax, go on a date. But here's the deal. She's not paranoid. This is all about anxiety. We always have this feeling that if we can seemingly control things, like keep this clean right here, or have everybody wash their hands 50 times, or whatever, then we have the feeling that, okay, I'm controlling something that represents the world, and so I feel a little better for a moment. But it only lasts for a moment, right? So you got to go do it again.
Yeah.
That's why you're getting all this repetition, because it's a not very good way of handling the anxiety.
Something that's really important is that the biggest concern I have is with her leaving the kids. And you know, on a serious note, I think a lot of the stem of this is that we lost a child at birth, you know, our third daughter.
Yeah.
And she had these tendencies before, but that was a little over a year ago. And ever since then, she's had full-blown panic attacks, and she's learning how to deal with those now.
No, she's not.
Well, at least she's coping better than she did in the beginning.
You're using ritualistic behavior to suppress the coming anxiety and panic because you felt like you lost control with that daughter. You were predisposed to it before.
Right, I was.
It didn't start with that. That was just a stressor, and stress will cause this to spike.
I've been spiked for about 1.5 years now, and there's days I can barely do anything.
Yeah, your adrenals are burning up internally. I mean, it's both a physiological and psychological phenomenon that is anxiety-based. Here's the good news. This is controllable in fairly short order, and that means you're going to need some biofeedback. You're going to need what is called neurotherapy, which retrains your brain and your nervous system autonomically to handle this with a different response. And I have already made arrangements for you to have exactly that intervention with biofeedback, neurotherapy, and cognitive therapies to get this under control in your life, if you will accept that help.
Oh, yes, I'm tired. I am tired.
Yeah, it wears you out. You are worn to a frazzle.
Yeah.
You've done a good thing here, because we're going to get her some help with this. And I was so inspired by seeing you go out in the backyard and do things to physically release this. That shows a real commitment to get this under control. And this will happen in a very short order. This time next month, your life's going to look a whole lot different to you, I promise. All right, coming up, just days ago, this next husband got caught having an affair. Just days ago, I mean, like last week. And now he wants me to help convince his wife that it'll never happen again. Well, he's going to first have to convince me that it's never going to happen again. Then we'll talk to her. All that's going to happen when we come back.
One day when I was looking through Torian's phone, I found a picture of her in her underwear.
After I slept with this other woman the first time, I went back to her house, said, this can't happen again, and talk again, and then we'd do it again.
I called her. I didn't expect that she would unload so much information.
It's Ask Dr. Phil Day today, and I've been talking to husbands who have relationship questions, life pattern questions, all kinds of questions. Now, my next guest, Torian, admits that he committed an act that many find absolutely unforgivable, particularly his wife, Rochelle. Just days ago, she discovered he was having an affair. Torian swears he's learned his lesson and wants my help to gain back her trust. Now, Rochelle says she's not so sure if he's sorry for what he did or just sorry that he got caught.
Torian did confess that he was cheating to me.
The first night I was at the other woman's house, as I got ready to leave, she pulled me around and kissed me. It was about the 5th time I was with her that we had sex.
I began to get very suspicious when I had read a text message on his phone. I said, "Thanks, baby. I miss you so much."
After I slept with this other woman the first time, I went back to her house and said, no, this can't happen again, and talk again, and then we'd do it again.
One day when I was looking through Torian's phone, I found a picture of her in her underwear. When I saw the picture of her, I remember thinking, this is our marriage, this is it. It's not going to go on anymore. So I called her. I didn't expect that she would unload so much information. Me and Torian would sometimes have sex before he left. And then he would go over there and do the same thing, and I just don't know how somebody could do that.
I know that I hurt the person that I cared about the most. I lied to her, and I cheated on her.
Torian has apologized many times, but every time he apologizes, it feels like he's saying, I'm sorry I got caught, but I'm not sorry I did it.
I want to put 100% effort into trying to make things work before we consider getting a divorce.
There is a piece of my heart that still really cares for him, and that's the piece of my heart that breaks every time I think about everything that's going on. But my mind goes, he's never going to change. Tigers don't change their stripes.
Okay. How long have y'all been together?
5 years. Married just under a year.
Are y'all like 12 years old? I mean, you don't look old enough to be married.
I'm 21, she's 20.
20. So, what did you say to yourself that made this okay?
I actually never told myself that it was okay. I felt dirty, disgusting. I couldn't look at myself. There were times where I'd sit across the room from her, and she'd wonder why I wouldn't sit by her, because I'd be so disgusted with what I was doing.
What? You stopped because she found the text messages, right?
No. I had stopped before that. I had stopped things in November.
But you were still just texting?
We were still texting with each other.
Well, it's not stopped.
I stopped texting her about how I felt about her because I told her that we just needed to be friends, and she agreed. She would text me and say, I miss you, or I love you, and I want to be with you.
Did you tell her that you loved her more than Rochelle?
Before I stopped things, yes, I had told her that.
Did you tell her that you wanted a divorce?
I told her that before we stopped things, yes, as well.
And you had pictures of her?
She had sent me pictures of herself. I had asked her to stop on numerous occasions.
Did you have unprotected sex with her?
We had started one time, and I'd stopped and said, I can't do this. First off, I'm married, and if you get pregnant, that's another thing as well, and diseases.
Would that be a yes?
Yeah.
Okay, coming up, Torian says he's willing to do whatever it takes to prove to Rochelle that he is serious about winning her back and showing that he can be faithful. But will it be enough, or is it already too late? We'll be right back.
I want to get back the trust that she had for me, and I'll do whatever it takes to get that trust back.
The trust is so far broken that it feels like he's, had my heart in his hand and just crushed me.
I do not want to leave Rochelle. I want to make this work. I want to do anything and everything to show her that I'm sorry.
It would be nice if somebody could make the decision for me, just like they used to when I was younger. Ultimately, the decision, it has to be mine.
Well, it's Husbands Ask Dr. Phil Day today. Now, Torian is desperate to save his marriage to Rochelle after she discovered he was having an affair just last week. And, we spoke to the other woman. We talked to her and interviewed her. One of the things she said that I thought was interesting, she said Torian is a really good liar and very persuasive.
Yes, he is.
Does that worry you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. What makes you think you can trust him?
Right now, nothing. I don't know if I ever can trust him again. I mean, this whole thing was You know, and I've said it so many times, if it was one night, one fling, one kiss, one anything, that's something, you know, I'd be better able to handle. But this was an entire relationship.
Yeah, she says that he spoke to her on the phone for hours at a time, hung out with her on campus, told her he loved her, said he wanted to be her husband one day, just really immersed himself in a relationship.
Right.
Is all that true?
I did tell her that. I did immerse myself at that time.
So why do you want back in this relationship? Why did you decide you didn't want to be with her?
At that point in time, I thought I wanted out. I was not myself. I had gone through a bunch of things that year. My father being murdered, not being able to do the sport that I wanted to do because of having to have a spinal surgery. And, you know, all that combined with an extreme loneliness that I felt, which I thought was in my marriage, and it wasn't. It was inside myself. And after we had started all that, I began to ask and wonder why I chose to do this. You know,
So
I was
what do you
hurting
think about what
myself.
he's saying?
You know, things with his dad and things with his sport and the surgery and everything were really difficult for the entire family. We found out his dad had died right before we actually got married. My father died when I was 6. My dad that raised me up and left and said, you know, I don't want anything to do with you after I got pregnant. I'm like, well, I ran to him for that when I needed comfort and when I needed somebody. And it's like, why didn't you do the same?
You turned away from your partner to fix a problem instead of towards her. And that didn't work, right?
No, it didn't. At the time, I was mad at myself and partly mad at her because of the way my father died. I felt like I could have saved him, although I know I couldn't have. And I had no idea who to turn to or who to run to because I didn't trust myself.
Well, first off, let me tell you, I'm sorry for your loss in all seriousness. I hate that you've lost your dad, and I hate that it was on the heels of a not good exchange between the two of you. Life is for the living. You're here now with your wife, and it seems to me that you guys are incredibly young. You're incredibly immature in your communication patterns and your relationship patterns, and I don't think that you are in a position right now to make a decision whether or not you want to sustain a relationship with him right now. This is very raw. It's just a week old with you. If you had to answer that question today, the answer should be no, in my opinion. But you're not really prepared to answer that question. You're still a little bit in shock about this. You don't really know whether there's any depth there that you can build on and sustain this relationship or not. And you need to take some time and figure that out. And you need some professional help to do that with. You first, as a couple second. If and when you decide that you are going to continue in this marriage, y'all need to do some premarital counseling.
That was something I actually had stressed a lot on before we got married.
Yeah, well, you
stressed that
should
a
have done
lot.
that, and
Yeah.
you ought to do it now if you go forward in this, but you're not ready to make that decision. You need to take some time, take some help, and then make your decision after things settle down a little bit. Will you do that? Can you step back from it and let me get you some counsel on this to sort through it?
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Fair enough? We'll be right back. If you've got questions that you want to ask, go to drphil.com. We want to hear what your questions are. I really appreciate everybody for being here today. Whether I came down on your side or I didn't, hopefully it's at least something to consider. I never ask people to substitute my judgment for their own, just to kind of think about what I've had to say. If you can find value in it, then good. Thanks for being here today. So long.
All
all-new Dr. Phil today.
Ugly people are vindictive, miserable, unhappy people.
You have facts to back this up.
I've researched it, I know.
Meet some real-life mean girls.
I'm not judging fat people. I just don't like being around them.
Your life would just be worthless if you gained weight.
I would want to even want to live.
And see what happens
I don't eat and eat and eat.
when the tables are turned.
She's not a size 4, I'm a size 4. I'm a 6. You look more like a 10.
You're on national television being judged by someone smaller than yourself. Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go, in 10.
Stand by, camera 6. If it's happening now, we're going to deal with it now.
Stand by, Dr. Phil. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Stand by A and roll A. Check it.
Go, Dr. Phil.
Thank you. All right, now, you have all seen someone out in public that you just didn't find him attractive, right? You thought, you know, they could look a little better. But did you point it out? Did you say something to their face? Excuse me, you're ugly? Well, today, you're going to meet some very opinionated, very judgmental people who have no problem saying exactly how they feel. But they want you to know that they're not judgmental. They just think, well, they're hot and you're not. I mean, now, Shanique says that she doesn't like ugly people, refuses to have ugly friends, does not want an ugly person to touch her. She will literally run away if an ugly guy approaches her. She says ugly people are bad news. She says, look, they're jealous, they're miserable because they're ugly, and so they'll do anything to sabotage a very attractive person, you know, one like her. Her friend Chad says Shanique is beautiful, but her opinions make her ugly. Take a look.
Ugly people are vindictive, miserable, unhappy people. They just want you to fail in life, so they plot against you. Oh my God, that's when you should not even wear your real face. That's when you should have a mask.
I argue with Shanique about her attitude constantly.
Right there, that's ugly people. Here's another one. Here are more, like, oh my God.
I told Shanique if she doesn't tone it down, I'm not going to go out with her anymore.
I choose my friends based on the way they look. If you are fat, ugly, missing teeth, bad skin, balding, then you're definitely not somebody I want to hang out with. All my friends are hot. They all look like me. About 75% of my income goes to my appearance. I would rather get evicted than leave the house with a bad hairstyle. I usually take about 2 hours to get ready. It takes time to look like this. Every time I go out, I'm approached by ugly men. They flock to me like flies.
Shanique takes extreme measures to get away from ugly people. She thinks if she's touched by an ugly person, she will be contaminated. She will become ugly herself.
When ugly people approach me, I make a really ugly face, like, that's my face, like, oh no, don't dare, don't do it. I'll just throw my hand like, no, go away. No.
She wants to come fight me.
No, I can't, you can't touch me. You can't touch me.
Shanique's B face is horrendous. It is ugly, it is snooty, it's the ultimate, you are beneath me with a frown. Get away from me, please.
I don't care if I hurt someone's feelings. Honesty is the best policy. I think people need to know. I don't acknowledge my flaws. I think I'm flawless.
So you basically think that ugly people, as you call them, are angry, unhappy, insecure, weak, jealous, and they're just going to sabotage you, try to ruin your life.
Yes, I do. I've been around these people. It comes from experience. It's not something I just made up. I experienced it, and I don't like being around them.
So you have facts to back this up, right?
Yes, I've researched it. I know.
Yeah, just by being around them yourself. So you don't have ugly friends.
No.
So define ugly. Well, actually, you did define it.
Yes, I think I did.
You say ugly is if you have bad skin,
right,
bad teeth,
right,
bad clothes, bad weight, and balding.
Right. Well, I said balding.
You didn't turn ugly.
Right, no, but I'm saying balding
I touched you.
in denial balding.
I can admit I have thinning hair.
Right, but you don't.
So you say when an ugly guy, such as a bald guy, approaches you, you just shoo them away.
Yes, I do.
So
well,
you're
yeah.
gonna try and shoo me away?
No, I like you, Dr. Phil.
I don't shoo very easy.
Yeah, I believe you.
So are you a diva?
I am. Yes, I am. I made a lot of demands here, so yes, I am a diva.
Well, I have a list of your demands. You said you wanted to change your spelling of the name for the show.
Right. Well, that's what I use.
It's S-H-E-N-E-K, but you wanted to change it to S-H-A-N-I-Q-U-E.
Yes.
Because that's more avant-garde.
I like it.
You wanted us to shut the show down so you could change clothes at the commercial break.
Yes, because I thought it would be nice to see me in different outfits, to show people how I look every day.
That's why everybody's tuning in today, is to see you. Okay, you wanted a car service instead of a taxi from downtown Manhattan to the airport. You wouldn't let them come to your apartment for the field shoot, and you wanted to enter to Justin Timberlake's song, Damn Girl.
Yes, because it gives me energy.
Gives you energy?
Yes.
You want a recurring spot on the show?
Yes.
What would you do?
I would tell your guests that they need to get over some things and to help them out. These ones the ones that can't dress, give them a little fashion tips, and you need some chocolate on your show. I'll be a chocolate little swirl.
Okay, you'd be a chocolate little swirl to help people with their judgmental nature. And
right.
Okay. And you wanted radio in your dressing room?
Yes, because I need like music so I can get dressed.
Come on. I mean, do you really feel good about saying these things about people?
Well, it's not my fault. I didn't make these people.
No, but you made you, and you make your decisions. When we were talking to you, you said that you've actually been around some ugly guys. You said once some ugly guys offered you and a friend a ride.
Yeah.
And you said, and I quote, well, I might as well use them for that because I don't want to pay for a cab or a train, so I got in the car with them.
Yes.
And you had an ugly girlfriend with you.
Yeah.
Well, you said you don't hang out with ugly people. You seem to be picking them up on the street.
But I'm saying from experience, that's how I know I don't want to be around them.
So you use these people?
I have, I have.
I know. You told us about that.
Well, I'm working on myself, Dr. Phil. I'm not perfect.
Well, you told us you were. You said, I have no flaws.
I said I don't acknowledge my flaws.
You said you actually dated what you called an ugly guy for how long? 6 years?
Off and on for a while. I would say maybe 6 years.
And when you broke up with him, you said nobody would even talk to you if you didn't have money.
Yes,
you have bad teeth, bad hair, you're short, and you're fat. Goodbye.
He was a mean person. So I just wanted him to know that this is why things like this happen to him.
Yeah. So you used him too?
Not
for his money?
No.
You said that you have no flaws. You said, I don't acknowledge my flaws, I have no flaws.
Yes.
Then why does it take 2 hours to get ready?
You know what? No. Well, I like to prep. I need to make sure my legs are hairless. I need to make sure a lot of things are clear. And then I take my shower. I need to listen to music. I may dance for a while. I do my hair. I mean, it takes time.
Floyd Mayweather's your ideal guy.
That's right. I love him.
Okay, so you wouldn't consider him ugly?
No, I don't.
You think he's a good-looking guy?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And do you spot good-looking guys? I mean, do you notice them?
It depends. Sometimes I do, it depends on where I am. Oh, yes, look at him.
Yeah. You say you want him to be 5'10" to 6'2", 180 to 205 pounds, athletic build. Shoe size is important for you, 9 to 11. And you want hairstyle in a low brush cut.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, here's some guys right here in the front row. These are pretty good-looking guys, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
You think they're nice looking?
Mm-hmm.
So, since she gave us a very specific description, we actually recruited these 3 guys to fit her description. And we let them look in on her a little bit. So we're going to hear what they have to say about our flawless Shanique when we come back.
I usually like guys between the height of 5'10" to 6'2", athletic definitely, and low haircut, so a brush cut, no facial hair. You need to have straight teeth. I think Dr. Phil is handsome. He's accepted the fact that he's bald, so that's always sexy.
Shanique and I were in a drugstore, and there was this beautiful baby, and baby smiling, and Shanique is like, Chad, I've never even seen a baby so ugly.
It was the ugliest baby that I ever saw in my life. And I said, oh my God, I don't want to ever see that baby again. It's like, I mean, it's rare to see an ugly baby, so it's like spotting a UFO, so you have to talk about it.
I'm talking to people who say, they're hot and you're not. Now, Shanique says that she'll run the other direction if an ugly person even tries to talk to her, or if she can't run, she'll just shoo them away like a bug. Now, she says that she is ready to find love, so we ask her to describe her ideal man. She, of course, only listed physical attributes down to shoe size. Didn't say one thing about personality, one thing about compassion, one thing about intelligence. All she listed were physical attributes. So we have a little surprise for Shanique. We found these 3 men that fit her type and let them secretly observe Shanique as she was being interviewed about her dislike for ugly people. Take a look.
People don't have to look as bad as they do. I believe ugly people are insecure, vindictive. I can't be around girls who are weak. Like they're not confident. I need confident women, male.
I understand that. That's cool. Yeah, that's good.
I definitely believe ugly people try to sabotage me because I get a lot of attention. If you're ugly, you may be jealous of that.
Wow.
When someone ugly comes up to me, I'll do an ugly face like, and just let them know, like, this is what I see when I look at you.
Oh.
I usually look for guys who are about 5'11" to 6'2". I like guys with size 9 shoe, no bigger than 11. Like 11, I don't want a man with a big foot. So,
I need to leave. I was 14.
Usually they have on nice clothes and a watch, a nice watch. Sometimes there's a lot of fake watches out there now.
A lot of fake women, too.
Ugly guys are the oldest people in the place. They do not care. They could be no legs, whatever, and they will walk up to you and think that they have a chance.
She seems appalled that ugly people exist. She's just a lost soul.
Before I saw Shanique's interview, I didn't know what to expect. Afterwards, wow. Externally, she's a pretty woman. Internally is where everything just goes haywire.
When Shanique said that ugly people were vindictive and out to get her, that was without a doubt a deal breaker for me.
If an ugly man comes up to me in a club, I'm very dramatic. I run to the other side of the club.
That's putting a little bit too much energy into making people feel bad.
When she said things like, I don't even want to be seen with somebody that looks a certain way, that kills me.
Okay, so Carlos, changed your opinion once she started talking.
Yeah, definitely.
Until she opened her mouth, you thought what? Pretty cute?
I mean, she's beautiful, yeah. She's a pretty girl. Like I said, once she said that, the first thing that came to me is being a black male, being a black woman, we're already judged. So, I mean, just to go and judge again, I just don't understand how you don't have the same compassion, you know, when we go through stuff that we go through.
You said it's kind of like judging based on race.
Definitely.
So what do you think about what he's saying? That you're being actually, that it's a prejudice, you're being discriminatory and judgmental?
I think that's true. And like I said, I'm working on myself. I can't help it. It's from my experience. This is what I've experienced.
The reason you told us you don't like ugly people is because they cramp your style.
Well, they do.
That they represent you, that if people see ugly people around you, then they'll think that you're no good.
No, not that I'm no good. I'm just saying that your friends are your representatives. So if my friends look bad, then, I mean, it just doesn't add up to me.
But you've heard this from Chad. You've told her this, right?
Yes. I think she really is beautiful in the inside, But she's afraid if she let those walls down that she will ultimately be surrounded by undesirables. I think her heart is so good that she doesn't want them to come in.
I'm not so sure I buy a bit of that.
I believe that. I really do.
I think that's well said.
No, I think it's the truth.
I think it's well said, and you know her better than I do. But you're actually cruel to people, right?
I'm cruel to people who shouldn't. Well, some people touch me. They actually touch me. When I'm out in a club, like if I see a cute guy, I don't touch him. I may walk over near him so he can see me, but I'm not going to touch him. They touch me. And they actually like come really close in my face, like invading my space. So what am I supposed to do? Be nice? That's rude.
Well, it's rude to say, you're too ugly to be in my space, get away. See, here's what I think. I think people have comfort zones, and I think they define the game at the level they're comfortable. And I wonder what it is you know about you that we don't know, that you play at a superficial level instead of saying, look, I mean, there are nice people that may not fit the stereotypic billboard definition of attractive. They're nice, caring, compassionate people that have a lot to offer. I tell you, if I'm getting ready to have brain surgery and they tell me they got the top person in the world to fix me, I don't give a damn what he or she looks like. I mean, don't you have to look past that at least some?
Yes. The physical is just the beginning, the reason why I want to start talking to you. So once I get to know you, and if you're not like the person I want to be around, then...
But you might miss some really nice guys because they don't look like somebody on a billboard.
I can't, but I wouldn't be attracted to them. He would be unhappy, I would be unhappy because I wouldn't want to look at him.
That's not right. If you got to know him and cared about him and he loved you and supported you and nurtured you, then beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You might see him differently.
I wouldn't.
Or you could hook up with some guy that just looks like he's chiseled out of marble, and he could slap you around and treat you bad and not take care of you. But that would be okay?
No, well, I'm saying, no, that wouldn't be okay. Then no need to clap.
No, they don't need you to tell them when to clap. I don't think you're going to give this audience 3 snaps and done. I don't think so.
Whatever. Okay. I forgot the question.
The question is, you just might be missing some really nice people by judging them superficially.
Maybe I am. Life is too short to even waste time. I mean, everybody's going to die. I just want to have fun, and I don't really care about that.
Yeah, okay. So how's your love life?
Well, I chose to stop dating. I did. It was a decision that I made.
So it's just a decision you made because it wasn't working.
No, Dr. Phil, I have been on dating extravaganzas, and I decided that I wanted to take a break. I needed to cleanse my mind and my soul and my body.
Is this part of that, being here?
Yes, it's helping me to, I don't know, maybe find out if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Then how come you can't look me in the eye?
Because I know I watched the show, Dr. Phil. I know what you're thinking.
Oh, no, you don't. No. But I want you to watch the rest of the show because I'm going to ask you some questions about what you see in other people, okay?
Okay.
All right, we're going to add someone to this conversation, and we're going to talk about why a former beauty queen says she is repulsed by fat people because they always have food in their hands, they breathe heavy, they can't walk straight, but she doesn't consider herself judgmental, just repulsed. We'll be right back.
Obesity is disgusting to me. I am very, very repulsed by obese people showing affection to each other. When I see obese people eat, it makes me want to throw up.
Today we're talking to people who say they can't help how they feel when it comes to their dislike for ugly or what they call fat people. Those are their words, not mine. Michelle says for as long as she can remember, she has been disgusted by what she calls fat people. She says that all they do is eat and eat and eat. She says that she has had 5 kids, is still a size 4, so what's their excuse?
I have 5 kids and I'm a size 4. I have never had to diet. Obesity is disgusting to me. When I see rows of fat and lard on people, I am repulsed by it. Fat people eat really fast, but they can't walk fast, and they have a very hard time breathing. When I see obese people eat, it makes me want to throw up. I saw the people behind me eating. They had steak and they had potatoes plus dessert, and I had to go to the bathroom because it made me sick. I am very, very repulsed by obese people showing affection to each other. I only usually see that at the movie theater, and I have to change seats. I think about why the fat people don't join a gym like, models do. Why can't they try a little? When I see a fat person, I think that they have a problem, but it's not judgmental. If I was 200 pounds over my weight now, I feel like that my life was worthless.
Really?
Really.
Your life would just be worthless if you gained weight.
If I got really obese, what would be my purpose? Because I couldn't function with my kids. I couldn't hardly walk. I couldn't hardly breathe. And people would be disgusted by me. I wouldn't even want to live.
Really? You just wouldn't want to live?
Not if I was obese.
And you say that you have actually been around people that you consider to be obese, and they're eating, and you've had to get up and go to the bathroom and throw up?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So if you wouldn't live, you said I wouldn't want to live if I gained 200 pounds.
Right.
Because there's just no purpose, right?
Right.
No point.
No point.
So everybody in this world that is overweight, there's just no purpose to their living. I mean, why?
No, I didn't say that.
No, that's what I'm
may,
asking you.
Oh, no, I believe that they may not feel that way. They may have a purpose in their life, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't feel like I would. I mean, I just understand how I could even be happy being obese.
As you hear yourself saying that, does that sound incredibly superficial?
It sounds superficial, but I love them. I mean, I would love that person, but I can't be around that person.
They would just gross you out.
If they kept eating and kept eating, it would totally gross me out. Yes, and I would have to go throw up.
Mm-hmm. So what did you think as I was talking with Shanique up here? She was pretty much voicing the same opinions that you've got. She just has a little broader category.
I think I'm a lot nicer person than Shanique.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Really.
Shanique, what do you think about what she's saying?
I think it's the pot calling the kettle black. Because when I look at her, she looks heavy to me. She looks fat, too.
I'm talking obese. I'm not a perfect.
Welcome to Catfights on Dr. Phil. You think she looks heavy?
Right, she's not a size 4. I'm a size 4.
I'm a 6 now.
You look more like a 10.
Well, how does that feel? I mean, I actually didn't tell her to be rude and judgmental. She just kind of comes by that naturally. But, I mean, you're on national television being judged by someone smaller than yourself.
Right, and that's okay. She has her opinion about me, but I don't care about that. I'm not judging fat people. I just don't like being around them.
You say that if you're in a restaurant and there's a fat person across from you, what you call a fat person, you have to change seats so they're not in your eye line. You won't sit next to them in class because you're going to school right now. You won't sit next to them in class.
If I had a choice to sit by a slender person or a large or an obese person, I'd definitely probably choose the smaller person.
Why?
Because I know eventually I'd have to sit and eat with them if I become friends with them.
Is this something you want to change?
Yes.
Because you know what
Yes, I do.
what strikes me about this is how energized you are about it, that it's kind of a theme to your existence. Do you think it's odd that you're so energized about it? I mean, you won't go in a bathroom stall, you won't sit next to them, you won't look at them in a restaurant, you don't want to touch them.
I want to get past that.
You said if you had an opportunity to talk to a fat person, you'd have a lot to tell them.
If I really could tell that to them, yes. But
Well, we're going to give you that chance when we come back. It's good to get it out. Serious, it's good to get it out.
I would tell a fat person that they need to lose weight.
I want to tell people who look at me, this is me, this is who I am. If you don't like it, don't look.
I would ask them how in the world are they able to function in life.
I may be fat, but you're ugly, and I can diet.
Well, today we're talking to people who say that there are just certain people in this world that they don't like. It isn't that they're mean, it isn't that they're unkind, it isn't that they don't make a contribution, it's that they're fat and ugly, or fat or ugly. Now, Michelle says that obesity is disgusting, and she can't help but have no respect for a person that is fat. Now, I want to introduce Michelle to Janine. Janine is 343 pounds. She says she's proud of her figure and will stand up to anyone who is repulsed by what they call fat people.
I'm 5'5" and 343 pounds. I may be fat, but I'm proud to be who I am. I am sick and tired of people looking at me, judging me with disgust without even knowing my name. At least once a day in public, I get this. This little boy once looked at me like I'm gonna eat him, and I said, do you know why I look like this? I eat little kids like you. When people say they hate fat people or hate anything, they need to point out other people's flaws in order to feel good about themselves. They need to mind their own business, like take a look in the mirror first. Fix your own house before you try to fix mine. Thank you. There is no way anybody can justify making a judgment just solely based on somebody's looks. I tell people, I may be fat, but you're ugly, and I can diet.
You've been listening to what this lady has had to say. What's your response?
You said people showing affection like fat people disgusts you. And I'm thinking to myself, how can anybody showing any kind of love to one another be disgusting?
What I see is in my head, I think about intimate situations, or I think about that when somebody pinches you and pats you, and it just grosses me out, and I can't help it. I wish I could get over it.
Yet that's disgusting to you.
It doesn't disgust me. I would like to, I think about what do they do in their life. If they have a medical problem, why don't they go get it resolved? Why don't they exercise more? Why don't they walk? Why do I always see them eating?
Would it surprise you to know that she walked and exercised so much that she broke her leg trying to get her weight? Broke her leg trying to lose weight. Am I right?
Yes, you're very right.
Does that surprise you, or but that isn't in your judgmental matrix, is it?
No, I don't.
Because you just say she's fat.
I have compassion on her. I feel sorry for her. I do, and I would love to befriend you. I just don't want to sit and eat with an obese person that eats and eats and eats.
Well, you know, there's two things I think that I want to throw in here. Number one, I think you are dead wrong. I think you know you're dead wrong, and I think you sincerely don't want to have that reaction.
Oh, that's true.
I think you sincerely want to change that.
Sincerely don't want to.
I mean, it'd be easy for me to criticize you because you're very vulnerable to that, because your position is ridiculous. But I think you don't want that position. I don't think you want to feel that way.
No, I don't.
This is almost a phobia for you.
Yes, it's more of a phobia, I think.
And I don't think I don't think it's consistent with the rest of who you are. The other thing I want to say is you need to lose weight.
Why?
No, I do. And listen,
Yeah,
you won't be a better person when you lose weight. You won't be a better personality. You won't be a better anything in terms of your spirit. But I worry about your health.
I worry about my health.
I mean, that's my point. You know, your heart is pumping your blood miles extra every day. It's having to lift a heavy weight every time it beats. The diabetes, all of the complications that you have will shorten your life if you don't lose weight. And let me tell you, you won't be a better person when you lose weight.
Oh, I know that.
But you will be
a healthier
healthier
and a longer living person.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So, Shanique, you wouldn't be friends with her, would you?
Unfortunately, I wouldn't. She does seem like a nice person, but I don't mind heavy people. But she's just, you know, that's really unhealthy.
Just a little too chunky.
Right,
chunky?
just a little too much. Just a little too much, but she is
Well, I
a
have
nice
a lot
person.
of friends, so I won't feel so devastated.
Right, yeah.
All right, next, two cousins who made national news when they say they were told they were too fat and they were asked to pay double at an all-you-can-eat buffet. We're going to talk to them when we come back.
The Manchurian Buffet restaurant discriminated against me and Mike because they think we're fat. The waitress makes the comment, if you guys serve yourself again tonight, y'all will be charged $20 per person.
It's all you can eat. I eat till I get full.
Well, today we're asking the question, if you don't like how someone looks, is it okay to judge that person? Now, Ricky and Michael made national news when they say they were discriminated against at their favorite all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. They say they were told they were too fat, and if they got a second plate of food, they would be charged double. Now, the owner has denied that, and it says nobody here called them fat and has said that they weren't charged double. Well, we sent Ricky undercover to talk to the owner to see what she'd say about the incident.
The Manchurian Buffet restaurant discriminated against me and Mike because they think we're fat. I'm not fat, I'm just a big guy. The week before Christmas, me and Mike decided to go to the Manchurian restaurant.
It's all you can eat. I eat till I get full.
Me and Mike gets up to serve our plate. I return to the table. The waitress makes the comment, if you guys serve yourself again tonight, y'all will be charged $20 per person. I never had a problem in the 8 months I've been going there. So I asked Wendy, the owner, why is the price going up tonight? She looks at me and makes the comment, oh, you big guy, you fat, you eat way too much. She says, look like your buddy has baby in stomach.
They had people all around me that heard, and I just felt like.
So I called the Houma Police Department.
The owner tried to rectify the situation. She had offered him a complimentary meal, saying that there was a mistake on the bill.
I told him, no ma'am, thank you, but the comment she made to me was uncalled for. Wendy turns around, get off my property, you're banned, don't come back. There's a button right here, button cam. After they put the button camera on me, I was nervous. This goes in here, turn it on, all right. I thought Wendy would get up, yelling at me, get out, call the cops on me. When we went through the door, Wendy tells us to come sit down.
Don't worry about nothing right now, we are fine. Okay?
Okay. I asked Wendy, why did she treat me that way? It hit me so hard that night, I felt discriminated. I was called these names.
Oh,
and,
Mr. I never been say that. Really, I did.
Yes, ma'am, you did. Yeah. Yes, you did. And it hurt my feelings.
But no,
like
listen,
double.
I swear I never been say that, and I don't want to say that. So I want to apologize.
You want to apologize?
Yeah.
If Wendy did apologize in her broken English, I never heard it. I just don't want other people to have to go through what me and Mike went through.
Okay, well, you've heard it now, right? I mean, she said she was sorry? I mean, do y'all accept that?
Why couldn't she do it publicly like she embarrassed me in public?
Well, this is pretty public.
Well, yeah, now it is.
I mean, does it help to hear her say that now?
No, not really.
Really?
Felt like I'm being stabbed in the back.
Yeah. So will you go back there again?
Never.
Yeah. So you're done with her?
Done with her.
Yeah. Well, do you want to say something?
I can't go back and banned for life.
Oh, y'all are banned?
We're banned.
Yeah. If that all happened like that, all you can do is move on. And,
I was discriminated against.
well, what would make you happy?
I'm going to find me an attorney.
You going to sue her?
Yes.
I'd move on if it was me, but you can get an attorney and do what you want. All right, next, a mom whose 13-year-old daughter is so obsessed with her looks that she refuses to leave the house if she's having a bad hair day. She's only 13. We'll be right back.
My 13-year-old daughter is so obsessed with her look, clothes are also a major problem. She will only wear name brand labels. She is upset that her clothes don't fit right or she needs a better outfit.
Well, today we've been talking to people obsessed with appearances. Now, Gretchen wrote to me about her 13-year-old daughter who will only wear designer labels, throws a fit if her hair isn't perfect, and wants to be a model when she grows up. Now, Gretchen's worried because her younger daughter is starting to act exactly the same way.
Dear Dr. Phil, my 13-year-old daughter is so obsessed with their looks that she will cry at least 2 to 3 times a day about her hair not looking perfect enough to leave the house. Clothes are also a major problem. She will only wear name brand labels and it takes her forever to get ready to go anywhere. Every week, she is upset that her clothes don't fit right or she needs a better outfit. I am hoping this is just a phase, but time is running out because my 11-year-old is starting to act just like her and recently told me about a Chanel purse she really wants. If that isn't bad enough, my 5-year-old just told me she wants to be a model when she grows up. Dr. Phil, how can I get my daughters to not be so concerned about their looks?
Well, look, this is a huge problem. Y'all all know that, right? Because the marketing machine in America is so powerful, and it is pounding on these kids every minute of every hour of every day. On television, radio, billboard, internets. They're just, I mean, they're hitting them so hard with all of these messages about what's cool, what's glamorous, what you have to have in order to be okay. And I've said a million times, you aren't the only voice in your child's life, so you need to be the best voice in your child's life. And if you let them define themselves by the labels inside their clothes or the accessories and purses they carry, then they are going to grow up to look at that as who they are and a way to be validated. You can't do that. And if it means taking everything away, then you've got to be prepared to do that. This is a commando parenting situation where you've got to step up and say, no, this is out of balance. We're not going to do this. And if she wants to cry, then she just needs to cry and she'll go to school with a red nose. But the point is, you've got to take control and not let them succumb to the marketing machine. We'll be right back. All right, today we've been talking about how people react to and judge other people. Shanique, is there anything that we've said here today that's changed any of your thinking?
No, not really.
Not even a little bit.
I mean, it may be wrong, but like I said, I'm working on myself, and so hopefully, maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
What about these 3 guys that you say are attractive guys who said they really were attracted to you until you showed that personality?
Well, what can I say? If they don't like that, then that's their problem. It's not really mine. But, you know,
yeah.
That's not my problem. I am who I am, but I'm a sweet person. If I think they're attractive, then they should be happy. Yeah. I wouldn't be like that with them.
Okay. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Today on Dr. Phil.
Gianni has hallucinations a lot.
She is seeing something that isn't there.
It's schizophrenia.
Dr. Phil takes you inside the world
Her hallucinations tell her to jump off buildings.
of a 10-year-old child
She's been very agitated, running out of the room.
with schizophrenia.
What you're seeing here is it's an inability to get a thought and stay with it. What is Calla-Lini? Let's do it. If we're going to do something here that matters, then we got to deal with the truth.
Not a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free, take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. Every parent can relate to the joy of bringing home their firstborn, right? I mean, think about it. All of their hopes and dreams for their future wrapped up in a little baby blanket. Well, imagine that by the time they take their first steps, they're walking into madness. They begin hallucinating creatures with names like 400 the cat or Wednesday the rat. These things scratch and bite her in her mind and tell her to jump off two-story buildings. That is exactly what happened to my first guests, Michael and Susan, who discovered that their daughter, Janie, was schizophrenic and hallucinating 95% of the time. Now, one of the first times Janie was seen in public was when my friend Oprah visited her several years ago. America was riveted. Take a look.
I heard you drew me some pictures here. Can you tell me what these mean?
That's a cat 400.
That's a cat 400. Where does he live?
He lives in Calla-Lini. They all do.
Where is Calla-Lini?
Calla-Lini is on the border of my world and your world.
Meaning this world?
Yeah.
Well, that was a few years back, and a lot has happened since then. Jenny has turned 10. She still struggles with the same hallucinations, but now her parents have another concern. They fear her little brother, Bodie, is starting to show signs that he might be schizophrenic as well. Take a look at what life is like for Janny and her family.
When Janny was 3, we started to notice that she was isolating from the other kids. Janny wanted to play with her imaginary friends more than she wanted to play with her real friends.
Janny was diagnosed at 6 with schizophrenia.
It was like we were entering this dark tunnel, and I was scared.
I felt terrified that I was going to have to watch her slip away.
Janny sees things, she feels things, she hears things that other people don't.
Here's our kitty cat. Meow. Come back, little kitty.
I know that she's hallucinating when she will look up towards the ceiling with her eyes locked on something.
Gianni has tactile hallucinations a lot, and the worst is when she feels like she's having diarrhea.
Oh, no.
What? No, you don't have it. You're okay.
Janny has probably over 100 animals, numbers, and people in her world. According to Janny, they all exist in a place called Calla-Lini or Roxy. Some of the hallucinations tell her what to do and how to act.
Probably 400.
Yeah, we have a problem with 400, yeah. 400, the cat, will scratch Janny if she doesn't do what she says.
I'll draw Midnight.
Midnight's a black cat.
You can't see her. Only I can see the cat. She's my cat. She had babies.
80, and I believe 80 is a person who tells her to jump off buildings.
I'll show what Blink looks like.
Blink is Janny's pet.
Blink is a beagle, and she's had him for about a year now.
There he is.
So that's what Blink looks like. Yeah, I've never seen Blink before.
He gets along with other dogs.
Who does?
Blink.
Where is he?
He's right here.
What scares me is I don't know what kind of power they have over her.
Part of schizophrenia is violence.
Janny?
It got to the point where being hit and being kicked and being bitten and scratched, that was just part of being Janny's dad.
Her imaginary friends will tell her to do things like hurt herself or hit Bodie.
I never know if she's suddenly going to pick up a pencil and shove it in her ear.
For 2.5 years, we had to move her out of the home. We feared for Bodhi at the time because he was an infant. Because of the medication, her violence has diminished. We have embraced raising Janny ourselves. Janny, because we know we're the best caregivers for her. We're her parents. Just take your meds. Okay.
Janny should be brushing her teeth by herself, but won't. Watching Janny struggle with this, I can't fix it. That is very hard to deal with.
There are times that I feel I just can't take this anymore, and I want to just sleep forever.
Well, I paid a visit to Janny, and you'll see that in a bit, but first I want to talk to her parents, Michael and Susan. We spent some time together recently, so it's good to see you guys again.
Thank you.
Just to help people understand the progression, when was your first clue? When was the first time that something in your head said, this is not going to be a normal progression?
Well, when she was born, she wasn't sleeping. She was up every 20 to 30 minutes. And
We were thinking, you know, colic or something.
Right, right.
You know, the normal things that make babies not sleep. There's nothing wrong.
every time we went to the pediatrician,
And then,
she would say,
as she grew, you know,
some babies are active, some are passive.
It turned, you
Yours is
know,
very, very
it turned
active.
out that, you know, it was a stimulation issue, and the more stimulation she got, the more she would sleep. So, you know, whichever parent had her that day would, you know, get up, take her out at 8 a.m. in the morning and stay out till 9 o'clock at night. You had to wear out her mind.
All right, now tell me this. How do you determine that she is seeing something that isn't there?
Well, first, we didn't even know. We thought they were imaginary friends.
And she tested with a genius IQ. She tested with a 146 IQ.
And everyone kept saying
So
Asperger's,
as she began to withdraw from other kids, I just thought, frankly, okay, your kid's just too stupid for mine.
Yeah.
And
well, we've all thought that. But, okay, but here's my question. Take me through the first day that you realized this child has had a visual hallucination.
Well, Janny and I would take our dog Honey up to the local elementary school to let her run around after school was out. Some kids on bikes rode into the playground, and you know, Honey started trotting towards them, and I called out, you know, it's okay, she doesn't bite. And then Janny suddenly yells out, "Be careful of Wednesday, she can bite you." And the kids immediately react, thinking that Honey is Wednesday. Wednesday the rat. So, and I get upset with Janny. I said, Janny, Wednesday's not real. Wednesday cannot hurt them. And she says, with complete seriousness, she says, yes, she can. She can hurt them in their head. And that was really the first time.
Okay, but that's interesting because she was able to make the distinction. This rat's in my head, it can be in their head. What was the first?
She knew before we knew.
You know, it's like that moment in, you know, what is it, Poltergeist? You know, they're here. You know, it was it's very disturbing.
It's what people would have called, you know, The Exorcist and all of that stuff. It is that, but there's a name for it. It's schizophrenia.
We're talking about, first off, a very intelligent child here.
Absolutely.
And her delusional system, her hallucinations are very well articulated. Kalilini is her whole other world.
Yes.
And she has 400 the cat, Wednesday the rat, Blink the beagle, Lo, which is a dog, 80 a girl, 24 hours a girl, 11 o'clock a girl.
Yeah. He's actually better at keeping up with them than I am.
Midnight the cat, Emily 64 a cat, Saturn the rat, 34 a bird, 100 degrees, which is a girl, 200 the rat, Magical 61 the cat, Carnivorous Numbers, and the Nothings. And she will never, ever get one of them wrong, or their ages wrong, or their characteristics wrong. It is well articulated and very well entrenched. Susan and Michael decided to have another child as a companion for Janny because of her struggle to make friends. Take a look.
I agreed to have another child because we couldn't find another child that Jenny could relate to. I thought was maybe we can create one.
There's a surprise. Look, she's got all these imaginary friends. Maybe she just needs a brother or sister. When Bodie was born, we brought him home into a nightmare. When Bodie was about 1.5 years, first of all, he wasn't talking. He was diagnosed with autism. Our greatest fear for Bodie is that he is schizophrenic too.
What's wrong, Bodie? What's wrong?
I get upset every time she says that because I don't want to believe that. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
I look at it as this is the rest of my life. This is the rest of Michael's life. It doesn't go away.
I don't know what else I could have done. I don't feel guilty that I brought it into this world.
You guys have written a book about this called January 1st, and it's really a memoir, and it's a child's descent into madness and her father's struggle to save her. You have a history of schizophrenia in your family.
Yes.
In the book, you talked about, you said that you hoped that schizophrenic Janny's baby brother would grow up to be just like her.
We didn't know she was schizophrenic at the time. We thought she was a genius with imaginary friends.
I've worked with many schizophrenics, and I am accustomed to their behavior. So I asked to spend some time one-on-one with Janny. So you'll see just how energetic she is and just how exhausting it is for her parents, again, while she's on medication. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm at the Dr. Phil house, and I'm getting ready to talk to Janny. She's been very agitated, been running out of the room. She refuses to be mic'd, so I'm going to run a mic down my right sleeve to come out at my cuff so you can hear her talk. What is Kalalini?
What scares me is 20 years from now, Jenny walks into a convenience store and suddenly has a psychotic episode and starts throwing things, and the cops get called. She doesn't even hear them, and then they taser her or worse, shoot her. That's what scares me.
Well, Michael and Susan are concerned about the future of their schizophrenic 10-year-old daughter, Janny. Now, I asked to interact with Janny and just spend some time with her to kind of see how she was and what her parents deal with on a daily basis. So let's take a look at that visit. Okay, I'm at the Dr. Phil house, and I'm getting ready to talk to Janny. She's been here for a while and been very agitated, been running out of the room, so this is going to be a bit of a on-the-fly situation. She refuses to be mic'd, so I'm going to run a mic down my right sleeve to come out at my cuff so you can hear her talk. I'm going to be asking her questions to tell me about the world that she lives in apart from us. Her parents are here, and they're going to be prepared to step in and help if necessary, and there's also a nurse here. Hi. Are you Janny?
I'm Janny.
I'm Dr. Phil. How are you? Michael?
Hi, Dr.
How you
Phil.
doing?
Nice
Good to
meet
see you. Hey, Jan, let me show you something I brought you.
We're going to cook in a second.
Do you have pets?
I do. Now sit down. Do you have pets?
I'll make cookies.
Yeah? Well, we'll make cookies in a minute. Tell me about pets. Do you have a dog?
Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Honey. Yeah.
Do you have a dog named Blink?
Blink, yeah.
Tell me about Blink.
Well, Blink.
Is Blink a beagle?
Beagle.
We do have a dog here if you want to see it.
What's his name?
His name is Joey.
I'll make cookies.
Well, okay, you want to see Joey first?
Yeah.
Come here, Joey. Hey, Joey.
Doggy.
Now, do you have cats?
One cat, Midnight.
Yeah. Is Midnight one of just your friends, or is it somebody I can see too?
One of my friends.
Just your friends? Can I see Midnight?
No.
How come? Okay, you want to make cookies? All right. Well, I guess we'll go make cookies. Can you tell me who 400 is?
One cat.
What kind of cat is 400? Is 400 a good cat or a bad cat?
One cat.
Tell me who 80 is.
My friend.
Yeah. Is 80 a friend that I can meet, or is 80 a friend that just you meet?
I can meet.
Just for you? Okay. What you're seeing here is what we call a flight of ideas. It's an inability to get a thought or an idea and stay with it. That's why you see, I want to see the dog. I want to make a sandwich. I want to have cookies. No, I want sandwich. No, I want cookies. I want sandwich. Cookies, cookies, sandwich, cookies. I've just been trying to keep up with her and talk to her for about 20 minutes, and I'm sweating. Hey, Janny, you want to go check the cookies? All right, let's do it. Perfect.
Oh,
Janny, these are perfect.
They came out perfectly.
Okay, you want to let them cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's Joey?
Joey the dog just wandered off. You want him to come back?
We'll see him.
Okay, he'll come here. I'll have him bring him. At times, she would just wander off. This time, she went looking for Joey the dog. Eventually, we brought Joey back in the room so I could try to get her to focus as best she could.
Yeah, look at that.
What is Kalalini? It's your own world? When you have your other pets, like 400 the cat, do you ever pet 400 the cat? Or is 400 the cat mean?
She mean.
Who's 24 hours?
My friend.
Yeah, how old is she?
16.
Oh, she's older than you. Yeah, is she a nice girl?
I mean, 80's 15.
Yeah. Are they nice?
Yeah.
What do y'all talk about?
400's 9.
Mm-hmm, 400's 9?
And Wednesday is 3.
Wednesday is 3?
Yeah.
So what do you talk about with 24 hours? Do you guys tell stories? Do you...
We play.
Yeah. What
Chase midnight.
You chase midnight? Yeah. Who's faster, you or 24 hours?
Hers faster.
She's faster? How come? Because she's older?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does 24 hours look like?
Brown hair.
Brown hair? Tell me why you like to rub your hands together like this. You know why you like to do that?
A cookie?
I would love the cookie. Janny. You know, the rapid hand moving, it's just something that she's always done. I think it's kind of a stim, you know, it's a release of energy. She does it when she's happy.
She's been at times very focused and at times kind of wondering, is this fairly typical of her level of functioning right now?
Yep.
I appreciate you giving us this time today and letting me spend time with her. Well, thank you for coming. I'm so proud to meet you. Okay, so now at this point, she is pretty regulated on her meds, right?
Yes.
So that's so I want people to kind of know, and if
She has a level of psychosis, a basis of psychosis.
Like what people
Right.
just saw right there, she was on, at that time, 600 milligrams
Yeah.
of lithium,
We have
250
Clozaril.
of clozapine, which is an antipsychotic, and then 75 milligrams of Thorazine. If any of us took that,
Or even one of those.
we'd be in a coma for about a week.
yeah, and if she got below those levels,
It goes faster, 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 faster until she goes crazy. That's what happens.
next we're going to talk about the anger, the frustration, the resentment, the issues that Susan and Michael are having in their marriage that led one of them to actually betray the other. We're going to talk about the reality of that when we come back.
Our lives revolve around the kids. It's put a strain on our marriage.
I met a girl. I thought she was everything that Susan was not. We did kiss.
There is a possibility her schizophrenia could progress as she gets older. She is uncharted territory. We know things are going to change because she's going to go through puberty. My greatest fear as she starts to get older is that she could go off her medication for any kind of reason. Then anything's game. You're looking at somebody who is completely crazy. There is the possibility Janny could do something horrible.
What will happen after we're gone? That is my fear. Janny needs people who will go to the ends of the earth for her. And I don't know if there will always be people like that around.
Susan and Michael admit that they, at this point, are in a sexless marriage. that got that way partly due to the never-ending struggle of raising Janny and Bodie. Take a look at the reality, because you're wondering, what's it like for the parents having to be so full-time? Take a look.
Our lives revolve around the kids. Let me see.
Susan and I almost never get to talk. We almost never get time alone.
It's put a strain on our marriage.
I very nearly had an affair. I met a girl. I thought she was everything that Susan was not. We did kiss.
I was shocked. It came out of nowhere.
I was looking for somebody to make me forget who I was and what I had lived through.
What hurts the most is that I had trusted him.
I betrayed Susan. I hope she doesn't hold resentments.
I guess I forgive him, but I don't forget.
You say at times that you just hate him, and you say there are times that you just hate her.
That's true, but we have empathy for each other because we're both going through the exact same thing. So as much as I can hate him, and I do, I still empathize.
Sometimes I deserve it.
Let me interject here, because there are a couple of things that I just feel a need to share with y'all. One thing that I'm sure the audience will notice is that both of you are very prolific talkers. And what we see is we see Janny, who has limited impulse control, is just kind of like, bleh, it's just out there.
Genetics.
And then talking to the two of you, both of you are just, bleh, it's out there. And,
That's true.
And I guess you have so much stimulation that you don't seem to notice that he's talking full time. I mean, he's just totally in the middle of an intricate story, and you're telling one in parallel to it, both at the same time. And so, do you notice that you both talk very fast and at the same time?
Actually, I didn't know.
I knew I did.
Did you guys notice that? Yeah. So,
I know I do.
Yeah, okay, good. But so my point is that, as you said, genetics, I mean, there may be some of that is transmitted there. But on a very serious note, let me say to the two of you, it's a gift to the children if you commit to structuring a way that both separately and together you can have some time to recharge your batteries, because if you think you won't become emotionally bankrupt, if you think you won't get to the point where you just are burned out and have nothing else to give,
Absolutely.
You will.
You're right.
So
No, you're right.
You're absolutely
I've been there a couple times.
You truly have to do that. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that we truly are making great strides in understanding what underlies a lot of the behaviors that you're seeing. And so there may be some hope on the horizon that can lessen your load, but you've got to take care of yourself.
I agree.
Until then, or you'll wind up burned out. All right. Thank you for letting us into Janny's world, though.
Okay.
Seriously.
Thank you, Papa. I appreciate it.
Michael Schofield's incredibly candid book, it really is very insightful, is January 1st. It's in bookstores now. And I'd like Michael and Susan to stick around, because we're going to meet a mom whose daughter began hallucinating in a child, was later diagnosed schizophrenic and schizoaffective. That little girl is fully grown. And now the trouble is she stopped taking her meds, which you guys are very concerned about, and is using dangerous street drugs to self-medicate. This could be an articulation of one of your greatest fears. We'll be right back.
Ashley's schizophrenia showed up at 8 years old.
When I see something like a severed body, it's extremely scary.
Ashley's been prescribed so many things, and she'll take some and stop. She does not want to deal with her mental health issues.
I received an email from a desperate mom named Lisa asking for help with her daughter Ashley, who's been diagnosed with everything from schizophrenia to schizoaffective. Now, I'll tell you, We don't always have the ability to get to letters so quickly, but because we were already working on this story with Janny, I thought that this was kind of a fast forward of what can happen in these situations. Now, Ashley has been hallucinating since childhood, but she just won't take her prescribed meds. Instead, she self-medicates with dangerous street drugs that could kill her. Take a look.
Ashley's schizophrenia showed up at a very young age. The first time I experienced Ashley having hallucinations, she was 8 years old. Ashley saw Jesus on a horse, seen a woman come out of her laundry basket, dead people in an orchard.
When I see something it's extremely scary, like a zombie, a severed body.
Ashley's been prescribed so many things, and she'll take some and stop. She doesn't like the way they make her feel. She does not want to deal with her mental health issues. She started self-medicating with marijuana, then started drinking. She took ecstasy, pills.
I have a daily heroin habit I have to use every day.
My relationship with my daughter is so sick. I've enabled Ashley. I've taken her to the drug dealers before. I've given her money. I'm loving her to death. My relationship with my daughter is very strange at this moment.
We explode on each other because there's so much guilt and hatred and just sickness. It's completely unhealthy.
Okay, well, thank you all for being here. And you've been watching the show up till now.
Yes, we have.
So you saw what we've been talking about with a young girl, that you've experienced a lot of the things that she experienced earlier in your life.
Yes.
When you heard us describing her world and what was going on, you understood that completely, right?
Yeah, I related a lot to her.
And you saw different things when you would have hallucinations. Tell us in some detail what you saw.
Mine are more demonic or morbid. They put a lot of fear into me. It'd be like severed bodies that can crawl on the ground or on the walls and ceilings, and they'll come at me.
How often do you see these images now?
Now it's about once or twice a month.
And when there's stress or pressure or something happening, does that make it more so?
Yeah, I do really well when I'm away from my family, and the second I get near my family or my mom comes into my life, like I seem to regress a little bit more.
What we're dealing with now today is your mother is here and you're coming here, which is stress and demand. Has this caused an uptick in any of this? Have you seen any of these things today, for example?
Actually, last night in the motel, or the hotel that we were staying at, I had quite an episode. I had somebody coming out from the bathroom over me, and it had me.
And when you say it had you, tell me what that experience is.
It starts on the ground, and it'll crawl up the side of the wall, and where I'm pushed up against the back of the headboard.
But you were physically up against
Yeah.
the wall.
It has me contained where I can't move. Like, I'm scared to move.
Yeah. Why did you want to be here today?
Because I want help for me and my mom, and I want help for my life because I know that I'm not doing the right thing at all, using street drugs.
So what street drugs are you using?
Heroin.
Every day?
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Like a gram worth.
And how do you get the money?
I usually, I either work or hustling up some money if I could, or asking just anybody to help me.
How do you hustle up money?
Now it's either just pretty much playing middleman for people who need other things. So I'll get them other things that they want. And
drugs?
Yeah.
Why are you not taking your meds?
I don't have a steady schedule right now that would, with medication that I need to take it at the same time every night and during the day. And I don't have a stable place right now that allows me to do that. And so at night I'm jumping from place to place.
So you don't have a home?
No,
There's nowhere you're living?
no.
So where were you the night before you were at the hotel?
I was allowed to stay at my grandma's house, so I could come here.
And what about the night before? When you don't have a place with your family to stay, where do you stay?
I just flop on couches or stay at places that allow me to stay there. Usually drug houses or friends of friends. And it didn't get like that until a few weeks ago.
The makeup people here have done a really good job, but you appear to have a black eye on the right side. How did that happen? Who hit you in the face?
Just a female with something in her hand.
Was she trying to hurt you, kill you?
She was definitely trying to hurt me.
Well, we got to take a quick break, and then I've got some questions for you, because I'm really focused here on, is there more than Ashley's medical diagnosis that's ruining her life, or is her mom's past history a real big factor here as well? We're going to talk about all that when we come back.
My behaviors with using drugs and needing to escape from reality is extremely self-destructive.
My biggest fear is Ashley dying. I feel horrible as a parent. I have totally failed, and I will never have another chance to help her. When I was a young mother, I had a history of drug and alcohol abuse. I took my daughter to drug houses, and I left her there to go get my drugs.
On one of those occasions, I was molested and taken advantage of. I was 9 years old. When I told her that I was molested, she just cried and cried because she knew that she didn't protect me.
That was Lisa, who admits that she hasn't always been a great mom to her daughter, Ashley. And, you know, frankly, you have been very forthcoming, Lisa, and willing to talk about whatever if it gets to a solution.
Whatever it takes.
But you made some real mistakes early on.
Yes, I did.
And I think you've made some real mistakes real recently, too. And I want to talk about that. But, you know, early on, you saw hallucinatory behavior in her as early as 7, 8, 9 years of age, right? You still would drop her off at some drug house and go off and do something.
I did. I know.
What was your thinking, or were you thinking? Did the drugs have that bad of a grip on you?
The drugs did have a really large grip on me, and I thought I was taking her to a family's house, but they did drugs. They had children there. I thought it was safe. How safe that was, obviously it wasn't.
How do you feel about your mother for exposing you to that at that young age?
I didn't get a childhood. I feel like it was completely robbed of me. And now I'm expected to just be thrown out and know what to do and not have the right to heal from anything. And it's a lot to handle. It's a lot of stress.
And you have, do I understand this right? You have actually taken her to get heroin.
I have in this past week. Yes, I have. In my mind, I had to do what it took to get her to the next day. Did I like it? No. Did I tell her? I'm so against drugs. You wouldn't know it, but I really am. I'm against drugs. I'm against everything that they stand for and what they've done for her.
Actually, I do believe that, because I think you've seen what it's done to you and what it's done to your family. So you're saying you did this because you were afraid that, A, she would go into a really bad withdrawal,
Absolutely.
B, she would run off,
Absolutely.
and you wouldn't be able to get her here, that the whole thing would spin out of control. So you were putting a Band-Aid on this till you could get through that day, get her here, get something where you had a chance to do something worthwhile.
I put aside my values and what I thought was right or wrong just to get her through.
Ashley told us that she is desperate to regain at least partial custody of her 4-year-old daughter, Emma. And next, we're going to find out what I think needs to happen before she reunites with that little girl. We'll be right back.
Ashley just got arrested 2 weeks ago.
Emma's dad found out, and he filed for emergency custody and got it. I'm really nervous about the hearing because I don't know what's going to happen. My daughter's 4 years old, and her name's Emma. I know I'm a good mom.
Ashley just got arrested 2 weeks ago for driving on a suspended license, being under the influence, and having controlled narcotics in the car.
I went to jail. Emma's dad found out, and he filed for emergency custody and got it until our hearing.
If Ashley were able to get help, then she should have 50% custody of her daughter.
I'm really nervous about the hearing because I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, that was Ashley, who's planning to go to court tomorrow, actually, to fight for partial custody of her 4-year-old daughter, Emma. She's not taking her prescribed meds for a schizoaffective disorder, which is her current diagnosis. And again, I'm very label averse, so I'm just saying that because it's what's written down in the papers about you. Not saying it's wrong, not saying that most of those descriptors don't fit. She admits being addicted to heroin. So Emma's father got an emergency petition to get custody of the child.
Right.
When you are couch surfing, when you're flopping in these drug houses or wherever you can find, where's your daughter?
When I had my daughter, I was at my mom's house, and I was fully there.
So far, you've never taken her to some of the places your mother took you?
Completely separate. Like, I'm trying to break that cycle.
Okay, but you do understand that you have an addiction to heroin.
Yes.
And you do understand that if you get backed into a corner where you are in withdrawal and that drug is calling you and you need that next hit, you need that next fix, that your ability to make rational decisions will be hugely compromised.
Right.
And you are subject to doing something and rationalizing in your mind and putting your daughter in harm's way.
Right.
I mean, you get that intellectually.
Yeah.
Now, you know, oh, I would never do that. And you know you wouldn't do it now sitting here.
Right. Like, I know that...
Have you taken drugs today?
No, I haven't.
When
Today,
was the
I
last
haven't.
time you had heroin?
Yesterday.
And now you're going to go to court tomorrow
Right.
on heroin?
No.
No,
That's
yes.
why I have Suboxone.
Oh, but it'll be, listen, this is affecting your brain for a long time before you're detoxed. You're on heroin when you go there tomorrow. If you took it last night, you're on it when you go there tomorrow.
see, yeah.
It's in your brain, it's affecting you.
Right.
So you have a psychotic diagnosis and an addiction to heroin, and you're going to petition the court to turn your child over to you.
No, I'm going to probably, I'm going to see what the mediator is going to put out on the table for me, because right now I'm in the position and I want to get help, and I really understand right now, today, I can't take care of anybody until I get better. I know that now. Going to jail and doing this whole cycle, and it's insanity. And it's like insanity on top of insanity, because I'm already not well. And to add everything on top of each other is just, it's not healthy for any 4-year-old. You know?
If you want to be in that little girl's life long term, you need to straighten her mother out. You got nowhere to live. You can't even stay on meds regularly because you never know where you're going to be or what's going to be going on or whatever, and then you get addicted to heroin and that's calling you. We've got to start unraveling this. You need help and treatment for that, and I'm going to offer it to you. I've asked an associate of mine that I've known for a number of years, Dr. Khaliji, to come here today. He is the founder, he is the executive director of Creative Care in Malibu. And it is a dual diagnostic facility. It specializes in the treatment of drug and alcohol addictions that are complicated by psychological disorders.
Oh.
And these guys so get it. I'm offering that care to you. Would you like to do that?
Definitely. Thank you so much. Like, I didn't even know there was a place that offered all of that together. I'm really scared.
Well, and that's okay. We're going to say goodbye here, then go backstage and let you just sit down with them and start asking those million questions and get past your fear and decide what you want to do and how you want to do it. Okay? Be right back. Well, I want to thank all of our guests today. Michael Scofield's book is January 1st. It is a really candid look into this very unusual world, and everyone in our audience is going home with a copy today. So all of you get a copy. You can catch Born Schizophrenic, Janny's next chapter on Discovery, Fit, and Health Channel. And you can go to drphil.com for more information, including footage of my really interesting visit with Janny. And I'm so glad that you guys were here to talk about, to hear this conversation, because this, in many respects, on the diagnostic continuum, is Janny many years down the road here.
This is what we're trying to prevent.
One of the things I've always been grateful for is that Jenny's hallucinations do not terrify her.
Yeah.
She doesn't see, you know, the demons and the severed bodies.
Everyone is different, and it kind of comes from your life experience in many ways. So a special thanks to Creative Care in Malibu for offering to help Ashley. It's really a wonderful facility. We will have a link to Creative Care on our website, and we'll have a link to your radio program on our website as well. Thanks for being here so long.